Am I live? The system says I'm live. I don't believe the system, but... You know. Am I live? Survey says? Oh god. This is actually loud on my end, so let me fix that too. Please let me know in chat if I am live. Otherwise, I assume I am dead. Oh, I see a yes. Either Guy is talking to themselves, which would be odd, or I am live. So hello. I am sorry for the technical difficulties. I went to do the same thing I've done every week for like months, and it normally works fine. But this time it was like, we cannot connect. And I was like, I actually don't know the solution to this, so... I'm just gonna click random buttons till it works. And I got it to work, apparently, so woo. Well, I'm not sure if you usually use a chat format or not. But you know what? I talk to myself all the time. I can't judge, so... last we left off, if I recall. Thank you for letting me take that week break, by the way. Whoa, hold on. Choto Mata. We get 58% on chapter 3, but so much higher for all the others? Interesting. That's fair. Not judging. I'm a talker to myself for 2, so... Oh yeah, so in Marianne's path, Marianne is stuck in the basement. Instead of the closet. Teehee. How was sound, by the way? Is that any good? And, whose path are we on next? I forgot her name. Pink girl. Has name. And I'm blanking. Oops, that's not what I wanted. This girl, though. Becca? Rebecca? Damn, she's stacked. I had no idea how stacked she was. Holy fuck. Okay, this might get spoilers, so I'll click away. But damn, she's stacked. This is also way more anime than they are in the game. Sorry, I got mesmerized. Let me click away from this. I don't want spoilers. Great. Cool. I mean... Okay, let me know if that is something I need to change. Until then, I'll speak a little bit better into the mic. That might be the issue. Okay, let's just start. Why not? Let's go with it. Slight heads up. Might be a little bit earlier for stream. I just have to go back to work. That's really it. So, fun stuff. But just letting you know in advance. I'll try to get as far as I can, obviously, per usual. Hopefully a good halfway point. Yo, what up, Nico? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. We're gonna start this game. With a gentle wind drifting through wide-open windows, muffled laughters and footsteps fading between empty hallways and the light kiss of the afternoon sun. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I heard a huge, like, when I looked outside. I'm like, yep, it's raining. Not a surprise. There will be a call, a crossing of thresholds in the unknown. Maybe we are off to some grand adventure or diving into another grippy mystery. One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come sweep me off my feet if I'm lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
But this is far from one, isn't it? A riveting tale, that is. A mild breeze, the faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny a fiery hue. They're all as real as they can get. Oh, Florida's always blowing up. In fact, if Florida isn't blowing up, it'd be crazier. I can get a weather webcam. It'd be funny if I got a weather webcam stream and not a webcam for myself. Not that I actually plan on getting one anytime soon. As much as I want to write a little tale out of this, I'm far from someone who can. Fleeting fancies, that's what these were. Merely passing thoughts to occupy an idle mind, while waiting for another workday to end. By the way, I've always wanted to get a heart monitor to work on this stream. I can never get it to work for some reason. I've bought one before, and it didn't really sync well. One day. Because I'm not really a screamer, as you guys know, when playing horror games. But, like, I definitely get scared, obviously. So, like, that heart rate spike I think would be cool to see. Even if I'm not freaking out, but... I don't know. Maybe one day I'll have time to fiddle. We'll see. Then again, maybe in another life. I am one. Who knows? Can I present what I have and what I've chosen to be? Well,
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
yeah, it's my goal. Maybe I'll make some kind of big event about it. It'll be great. But for now, I gotta figure out how it works. So I tried it once, and it says I'm apparently dead, so... There's Doki Doki across his heart. Man, I got so many cool games lined up. I can't wait. Like, I live the letter a lot, but I can't wait to play the next games, too. So many good games to play. All of them horror. All of them bad for my heart. It's gonna be great. Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I had imagined as a child. If I weren't so stubborn and too passionate with the whole idea, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? I'm not a man of surprises. As an agreement, as soon as the pen slides into a neat circle against the papers I'm grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that's been opened, students begin piling out of the hallway soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, let my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. And before Josh will need to have a cardiologist at some point, and cardiologist just watch the stream and be like, what's his need, Harvard? It's good to have accurate results, so you're welcome, cardiologist in the future. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as usually as I prefer. Though in hindsight the entire place hasn't been the same either since Isabella moved in next door. If her fussing over a minor cold last week tells anything, I might as well throw any idea of solitude out the nearest balcony as soon as she lives nearby. At the moment, my eyes automatically shift over the bottle sitting at the edge of my desk. A chuckle escapes from me as I reach for it. I totally forgot she gave this medicine that time.
A little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That big baby.
Mother hen, she calls me, and then says and does the same thing right after. It's not that I'm unused to being on the receiving end of the other people's worries, or I feel some sort of apprehension over her fretting. If I'm to be completely honest, I'm actually amused how someone can be childlike one minute and then act like a responsible adult the next. But there's a dissonance there, both in her actions and words. Though she may not look like it, may not say anything, may not lose her cheer, one way or another, I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Her face says it all. That big numpty? I know this is not American, so it's probably like that big idiot. If she thinks I won't notice, she's got another thing coming for her. That's how she's always been. I do understand that part loud and clear. It's just that I usually rather not pass another burden on her.
Or become one myself.
Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of those things people eventually grow away from once you've started leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow that thought makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before stranger ideas can take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. That scared the shit out of me. I have no idea why. A small frown forms in my lips where the light screens up, where the screen lights up, and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds once I do accept it is wholly unfamiliar.
Hello?
Oh, goodness. Finally, it connects.
Trying to think of who this voice is.
Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales?
Is this, person who's dead, blanking on name, in green, totally forgetting. Isabella's boss, ex-boss, because she's dead.
Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper.
That's it.
Briar Realty Corporation.
Briar Realty?
My frown deepens as I strain from my chair. Something in your tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't sit quite well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension that was usually descended either.
Miss Cooper?
It's Rose. I actually really like Rose's design. I'm very sad she's dead.
Yes. Things are a bit busy on my end. I apologize. I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and...
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
This is about Isabella, actually.
She wastes no time relaying everything. The details she provided are admittedly a bit vague, but enough for me to get the gist of what happened. It isn't the bad sort I'm expecting, though still worrying. especially with the words panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. But as quickly as the services, I stomped out on the urge to demand answers, right there and then. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough, regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her, though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances she had a bunch of excuses so she won't get sent home? High. Very high. Oh, she's so going to hear it this time.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxbourne. I really don't want her going off on her own. I'd do it myself, but oh, you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
More than fine, Miss Gales, thank you. We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. One moment, please. Yes, ma'am.
A faint hum of conversation echoes from her end. It sounds as though the place is buzzing with more people than you'll expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention its inconvenient location in Luxbourne's outskirts. Who wants to live in a place almost an hour's drive away from the corners of the city? But from what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. I didn't understand why she was so adamant in refusing my offer of help before. I think I do now. To some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going. Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients. They can be difficult when they want to be. Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? I shouldn't be too hard to miss.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
Oh, believe me, I know.
Oh, dissing your BF. I love it.
Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
The whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same can be said for the news she brought. I allow a brief minute to pass to ease whatever tension has lashed itself firmly to my nerves. No matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refuses to do so. My hands are unsteadily against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single one of it, glimmer than the other, grows with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with sudden unease and nagging worry, screams off. Wrong. It isn't the riveting tale I've hoped to step into today. Let's see. Oh, this girl's a hottie. Oh, this guy's built. This guy could use some work. Well, who am I to judge? Even on a rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. By the time I make it out of the classroom, the commotion's already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters. From the nearby room, melodies from a rehearsing band drift shrilly into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with their warm, lively tunes. Any other day, I'll stop, bask in the music, and enjoy what little peace it brings. Not today, however. My steps are brisk and sure as I march to Edward Hall's exit. The sooner I confirm Isabel's okay, the sooner I can shake off this niggling feeling. Okay, never heard that one before. For one reason or another, that single call, of all possible things, has thrown everything off kilter. I'd rather this be over with as quickly as possible. As much as I nearly barrel over Student in my haste. Whoa. Though perhaps it really is the other way around. She's so short, her eyes are so big, it's so weird! Ah! When I look down, a set of eyes, bright and hopeful, stare back at me. Her eyes are wrapped around my skirt like a vice, and at my attention, a grin spreads around her face.
Buenas tardes, Miss Pink!
It's just like it's like a little bit oddly drawn. I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
Hello, Kylie.
Also, what kind of school? Like, she high school? Is she elementary? Question mark. Whatever.
You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Sorry, Miss Pink.
Oh, she got him there. She loosens her hold on me, but not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her. Her neck doesn't exist. Oh, there's a necky. It's a little necky. A little necky over here. Okay, that's weird. Sorry, I'll stop. If anything, it seems the remark only amused her. A smile appears on her face before I can help it, matching the one on my own.
Just remember not to do it again, alright? You could get hurt.
Yo, because I can wreck you. Easy.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
I'm sure your mama only means well.
You watch me.
I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt.
You watch me, buddy. Like, you here for the weird shit. You know it. Don't even lie to yourself.
Where's your brother anyway? Aren't you two supposed to be heading home now?
Oh, she's probably just visiting her brother. That makes sense.
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go.
Oh, this voice actor is so good, yet so bad.
I think he's taking too long.
Oh, same, buddy.
But he promised to buy me jelly babies today.
Oh, shit.
If I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
Oh, fuck.
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
We here for the weird shit? Well, it doesn't get. This is probably the weirdest shit so far. It's not even horror yet. She shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth as if to keep a precious secret from spilling out.
I made a promise.
Oh, she got him there. Like, the eyes are so little. I know it's anime. It's too good of the voice, which is grating. So she's like, I know it's the point of it. And it's a phenomenal voice, but it's so good that I hate it. Does that make sense? I hope it does.
She said it's for Tia Luke.
Oh, something like a gift?
Like a dare.
Hold on. Like a dare. Isn't Marianne stuck in the dungeon and there were like kids from the school? Right? I don't think it's the same kids that died, obviously, because the times wouldn't match up, but it's pretty bad still.
Tio promised to take him somewhere cool when he's old enough. Rowan's gonna prove he's a grown-up.
Laughter slips free from my lips. Basically just squealed. The teacher in me wants to give whoever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing about this kind of behavior in children. But if both Seward's kids are so fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about. Suarez? Me bad at Spanish. Hold on, I can do this. 1 second. What is it? Suarez. Okay.
Pronouncenames.com.
Okay, didn't need that part.
Suarez.
Suarez. Okay, I can do that. Suarez. Hell yeah. Sorry, I lost everything in my attempt to do a joke. Not a joke, it's actually me attempting to be incredibly polite to our Spanish speakers, but Suarez also works. I didn't read that line at all. Rowan, the eldest, must have an occasional odd streak in and out of class, but their parents taught them well, as no reason to cast any suspicion of bad behavior on them. Tio does mean uncle. That does make sense. I have heard that once in my random Spanish learning moments. Oh, it's right here. I don't know I read ahead. Oh,
As long as it isn't anything dangerous, alright?
Suarez.
It's not. Cross my heart.
Oh, she has no heart. That's the twist.
My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so.
Oh, snap.
Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Her friend is having a panic attack right now.
Is that why you're here?
Not really. I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
Her face immediately falls. Her face falls immediately after the words are out. A small part of me feels responsible for that chest-fallen look, but as much as I want to stay a little longer, there's another place I need to be right now. And frankly, another child to look after. Sorry, I'll go back to normal voice. Taking both her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most rueful smile I can give. At her age, I'm sure she can understand what I'm about to say before they're even out. But remarkably, she doesn't look away or pout as I'm expecting her
I'm
to.
sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class? I'll even make sure to wait for you. It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
What about her mama and papa?
Oh, Jesus.
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? The southeast part?
Oh, snap, my people.
That's where they are.
Well, not the southeast part, but whatever. Her eyes immediately light up at my question. Just like that, I know I've earned the girl's forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako.
Yep, just like Takako.
Who?
My friend.
Yep, her friend.
She said she used to live there, only just a little higher than southeast.
Yep, no.
But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore. Melody says it's weird I talk to her, but I think she's just shy.
It's fucking weird.
They could be good friends too. Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think. Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore.
This is so fucking weird.
Is your friend like that too?
A little, possibly.
Like, I just said, I know she's a kid, so it's not applicable, obviously. But I'm in a hurry, so why are we having another dialogue?
To be honest, sometimes I can't tell with her.
After all, Isabella's always been the kind to hold a smile, even when things have taken a turn for the worse. 5 years and one would think is enough to know a person, but when you consider it, come to think of it, all these years I've never, not even once, seen her cry. Not over a trivial matter or when things are tough.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
I mean, honestly, you could have shown me the drawing at that rate. It would have been way faster.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, all right?
Don't bribe the kid.
No, I'll get a stomachache. Takako says so.
It's kind of a buzzkill.
A small one is okay.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
I will. I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Oh no! Repeat the line, I need it! I had this great gag and everything! It was gonna be so funny! I'd have gotten like 2 ha-has! Oh. I was gonna pull up this picture of London Bridge, I was gonna make him fall down. It was gonna be so funny. Okay, maybe not, but humor me for now. What a fucking responsible child. Yeah, you know, pros. She doesn't look back or wait for a while of goodbye from me. With a song and extra spring in her step, she bounds across the corridor with as much spirit only a child her age can have. As if the conversation has never taken any downhill turn for her at all. As if there isn't a single thing to worry about in the world. Not long after, she disappears behind a door, leaving behind strains of an old familiar rhyme lingering in the air. Carefree. Unbidden. Excuse me. Untroubled moments like this, I envy her. And as I resume my hurried pace, a tiny whisper at the back of my mind wishes the same could be said of myself and my own worries. Luxport may be a small city, but it's not strange to hellish rush hour traffic. But surprisingly, getting out of the city proves more of a breeze than a hassle. English is so fucking hard, damn. A relief considering how none of my calls to Isabella have made it through, though. Even the reception's really bad over there, or she's ignoring them on purpose. Both does nothing to ease the disquiet in me. The rest of my drive passes without much incident as soon as I'm out of the busy streets. In less than 30 minutes, the mansion looms ahead of me. For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty. Unlike Luxborn, the estate and the nearby Anselm village stand on its complete opposite. Living and breathing the songs of the old, the whispers of a once blooming haven lingering in the air. Contemporary conveniences aside, it's a place I'm glad modernization hasn't wholly touched.
It's just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself.
Yo, tell him, Rebecca.
If I could only knock some sense into these people.
Yo, tell him, Rebecca. Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. As much as I want to give them peace of my mind, this isn't why I'm here. I don't think these rich types will appreciate getting a lecture from me either. I have as much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take in the scenery before heading up the main entrance. Most of the guests are already heading out. Though some still linger, it's mainly just to take photos of the house facade or its various rooms. I pause for a moment, scanning the small crowd gathering at the foyer, looking at any signs of that familiar ponytail among the sea of hats and heads.
No sign of her.
No sign of the other staff or Miss Cooper either. I can certainly look for Isabel on my own, but in a place this big, I'd be lucky if I'd end up lost or find her before we need to meet Zachary and Ash tonight. Sighing, I reach for my mobile and redial her number, the gesture familiar now after so many attempts earlier. If she doesn't answer, I can try contacting Miss Cooper. I just hope the network's reception will cooperate this time. This side of the country has never been popular with the tech savvy after all. To my relief, it only took 3 unsuccessful tries. At the 4th one, right as I'm about to switch to another intercept message, the line finally rings. Silence follows while I wait for her to pick up, the ring going far too long for my tastes. By now, most of the visitors have already cleared out. All I have for company are the faint murmurs and an eerie calmness left in their wake. A sudden hush settles, and it gives way to noises louder than they've ever meant to be. Doors creaking and slamming shut in some distant part of the mansion, floorboards groaning under the sheer weight of the house's history. The now empty hall, they all reverberate with special clarity against the walls. Like this, these old stories seem to almost have a ring of truth to it. English is so fucking hard, what the fuck? I don't get to stray far from that ugly line of thought, however. Not a second later, a click sounds from the other end.
Hello? Isabella? Miss Cooper called earlier and...
Oh no, my hand is oddly going to the save section. Help me.
Isabella? Belle? Are you alright?
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. Busy noises blare sharply against the heavy silence. But above the noise cutting through the mute air remains the faint cries of a woman from beyond the foyer. My hand falls to my side as I cast a wary look around, waiting for someone to come home. 1 second, I gotta look at something real fast. Okay, so it's Friday, October 21st. That means we didn't see the open house yet, though, right? Okay, so why are we getting ghosted right now? We didn't see the letter, right? We didn't see the letter until later today, if I am correct in my timeline. Okay, we'll find out. Surely I can't be the only one hearing this. There must be some staff hanging around, checking things out. But no one does. Not even when her sobs turn more frantic and anguished.
Excuse me? Hello? Who's there? Isabella? Isabella? Is that you?
No answer. Growing anxious, I amble over where her cries come from, each step slow and cautious, towards a door on the other end of the room. While I'm far from someone who readily gives in to fear or stories lacking factual basis, the vague restless feelings I have earlier immediately returns to me. And despite myself, my heart begins to race and breathing quickens.
Belle? Belle, it's me. Miss Cooper called. Is everything okay?
Abruptly, all of it stops. My whole body tenses, mouth dragging in a ragged breath, ears straining from my other sound yet to come from the other side. But nothing follows. Instead, the quiet only lends itself to the heavy tension in the air, as if every small movement will disturb the fragile stillness hanging in the room. I wait for another second, and then with a caution I reach for the knob. My fingers barely gaze the brass handle when her hand falls on my shoulder.
Excuse me.
Ooh.
Oh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
No, it's
Still reeling, my gaze shifts back to the door, as if any second now the cries will start again, or whoever is inside will burst out of the room. But I don't get to dwell on these things. The woman's worried voice breaks into the haze in my mind, oddly soothing in the thickness of my unease. Even the concerned look comes from a total stranger, finally being in the company of someone else who is somewhat comforting.
Ma'am? Are you okay?
Oh, no, I'm fine. This is probably just some cold.
Do you need to sit down?
No need. I'm actually looking for a friend.
I wave the woman in front of her like the gesture alone explains everything. Vaguely, I note my tight grip on it and quickly slip it into my pocket before she notices. She doesn't need to know.
Well, I'm not really sure if your friend would still be here. We're actually about to close the open house in a few minutes, ma'am.
No worries. She's not a guest here. She works for Briar Realty. Miss Cooper called me earlier. In fact, I'm also looking for her.
Recognition flashes in her eyes, and her worried expression dissolves into a smile at once. It's all I need to know that I don't have to look elsewhere or venture deeper into the mansion on my own. In some way, I'm not too keen on the latter right now.
Oh, Miss Rebecca Gales, is it?
It is a little awkward that you call someone for, like, help because your friend is having a panic attack, and then that friend seems to be, like, panicking. It would be a little bit awkward, I feel.
Yes. Sorry if I'm a bit late.
It's not a problem. I was busy with the open house and a few clients anyway. It's actually a good thing you came when you did. Let's see. Isabella should be here somewhere. I told her to stay put earlier. That girl never listens.
Rose? Rosie, may I have a minute? There's just this one little thing before we go.
Miss Cooper's head immediately snaps up at the voice. In a blink, a different kind of smile spreads on her face. A smile still, friendly even, but the kind given mainly for the sake of pleasing other people rather than making friends.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there in a few.
It's an impressive thing to say the least. That level of professionalism. I suppose working years in this business trains you enough to be able to pull that off without batting an eye. It still didn't seem to rub off on Isabella, though.
Sorry, could you give me a second? I have to take care of this.
Don't worry about it. I understand. I can wait a few more minutes. Clients, right?
You won't hear anything from me. Priorities, you know? But if you want, you can stay at the parlor in the meantime. I think we have a few refreshments left.
No, thank you. I'm going out with a few friends after this. Isabella's supposed to join us too. But that depends on how she's doing, of course.
I don't know if I would say that, actually. Seems a little snitchy, but who am I to say?
Alright, this won't be long, I promise.
They shows an unapologetic look before sauntering over to the small group gathered at the entrance. Right. A couple or siblings? And another woman, probably their secretary. Either way, they look no different from the other guests. All three of them primely dressed, albeit in a manner significantly simpler than the others. No frills, no extravagance of any form. But their gestures and movements alone speak volumes of their ingrained lifestyle. In their presence, I do what I can to appear inconspicuous from my side of the foyer. Maybe accepting Miss Cooper's offer would have been a better choice than standing around awkwardly and gaping at them. All while also attempting my best not to listen on their conversation, though that one proves more difficult with how enthusiastic the blonde woman is. Her voice easily echoes across the walls, with only the five of us here. Pretty soon I find myself drawn into their talk without meaning to. Damn, why did I say tank?
Tomorrow? First thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning, ma'am.
The mundane talk isn't what catches my eye, however.
Very well. We'll have our lawyers prepare everything as soon as possible. Let's make this whole thing easier for everyone, shall we? Just let me know if there's anything you need from me. You know how to contact me, yes?
Got your mobile number saved here already.
Good. It's just a matter of time then.
Sorry, just fiddling with a wire. It's a brief moment. A fleeting shift of my eye.
Monday for us, Marianne.
Just please make sure there won't be any other mishaps, ma'am. My team would be more than happy to help you then.
You worry too much. Let me handle those things. Do be thrilled, though. I imagine it's not every day you get projects like this, hmm?
In the instance I turn my gaze on him, I see it.
Oh, I'm certain Mint's ecstatic, Buttercup. Aren't you, Marianne? You know, we could all celebrate this with a few drinks. Why don't we?
I don't recall this line. I feel like we would have saw this line. Oh well, whatever. Blonde bloke.
In fact, there's this really excellent Irish pub I visited a few days ago.
Looming, hovering over his shoulders, drawn to him like a moth to a flame. A dark blur. No, a shadow.
I think I'll pass on that, sir. I have more important matters to attend to.
You heard her, love. She's busy.
Muffled.
Such a shame.
Very muffled.
You never let me do anything fun.
As I try to make sense of it, a heavy feeling descends over my body. It bears out warning, forcing me to close my eyes. Sensation creeps to every part of me, crawling under my skin and treating me little by little of any strength. Before I know it, my hand is gripping the nearby door for support. The sudden nausea drowns out their voices and what little sound there is, all except for the whispers and laughters. Judging, mocking, taunting, saving. Muffled, inaudible words bearing down on me like a death sentence. They wrap around my neck and limbs, binds tightened with every syllable, every utterance. And with each draw of breath I take, they drag me down slowly, almost painfully, into a bottomless abyss. On, and on, and on, till the sounds turn into mere distant echoes. Till suddenly a shadow.
Well, what are we waiting for? Are we done here?
His voice rips through the fog like a sharp blade, and my eyes snap open. See? Luke is not the worst character. He saved Rebecca right there. What a fucking hero. That makes up for all his flaws, I feel. Then I look to them again. It's gone.
You can head back to the car first if you want, Luke. I hope that settles everything, Rose. I don't know what Isabel's problem is, but please make sure she doesn't hurt herself. Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Likewise, ma'am.
No shadows or dark clouds. Only amicable smiles and cordial handshakes, the usual pleasantries, as Miss Cooper leads them out of the mansion like a graceful host. None of the group seem to have noticed it, and even as I force my breathing to calm down, keep my eyes trained on their backs, or wait for something to happen, it doesn't come back. She returns a moment later. Gently she closes the great doors behind her. There's a smile on her lips, and the extra skipped her step when she walks back to me. Whatever she's discussing with the group had put her in a good mood. She appears not to have observed anything odd. Was I just seeing things?
Glad that was over. It's been a long day. I thought for sure we were going to... hey, are you sure you're doing okay? You look a bit green.
It's all good. I'm actually still recovering from a cold. Weather's been crazy lately.
That must be it. The weather, this stupid cold, and the friendly warnings I'm too stubborn to listen to. As much as I hate to admit it, Isabel's right. I was and still am a little feverish when she visited me at school this morning. The medicines helped, of course, but only some. Though it's not like I can't function. I did get better after lunch, and I was able to go through my schedule like the usual. Now I'm not sure. However, I can't keep acting like I've seen some sort of aberration when it's anything but. Aberration, whatever. I simply must have listened to too many things Isabel last week. My fever-muddled mind has started to confuse things. If this isn't let up, I just need another visit to my doctor, plain and simple. Though I do hope it won't get worse. We did promise to watch Zach's film together.
I know what you mean. I've been complaining to Isabel. It doesn't seem to affect her much, though. Must be because she grew up in the tropics. Anyway, shall we? She's probably hanging out with the rest of the catering staff.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised she's there. She eats like 10 hungry men when she isn't feeling well.
I feel like you shouldn't gossip with her boss. I know it's casual, but still.
Lead the way.
With a small nod, she gestures for me to follow. I do so without much thought, finally putting everything in the back of my mind. Ooh, ... The entire visit took a whole 24 minutes, and my trip to the mansion, as it turns out, is a useless endeavor in itself. Isabella's no longer there, left shortly before I arrived, or at least that's what the few staff who saw her assumed. None of them knew where she went, but I could take a few guesses. There are numbers of places in Luxembourg she frequents, and, well, she's never been the complex kind. It doesn't really take a genius to figure it out. Still, it's all she's left on her own. She could have at least waited for Miss Cooper. It would have saved her having to pay the cab's fare twice today.
And right after she was told to stay put! I mean, who does that?
Oh, tell her, Becca.
Oh, sod off! You don't own the road!
Oh, tell him, Becca. In the end, all Miss Cooper could give me were a string of apologies for my trouble, and a request to let her know when I find Isabella. The whole affair doesn't even last long. I probably spend more time traveling back and forth. Soon enough, I'm weaving my way back to downtown Luxembourg, worried, sick, and on top of that, maybe a little annoyed. Whether at the unexpected turn of events or at Isabella herself, I'd rather not think about it now. Now when I'm already running late for Zachary's film. Besides, I'm perfectly sure that's where I'll find her. Oh, I remember this. As one would expect, people are already gathering at the movie house when I get to it. The small avenue where it's located has been closed off early from any passing traffic to make way for the avid moviegoers who are sure to crowd the venue. I have to park almost a street away and walk the remaining distance because of it. Looking for them has taken a while in a crowd this big, but I haven't really spotted them near the entrance. Thanks to Zachary, mostly. And like I've surmised, Isabella's with them.
I knew it.
Wasting no time, I march over to their little group. Words filled with concern tumble out of my mouth before I stop.
Isabella! Oh, thank goodness!
Becca, you're just in time.
An honest expression crosses her face as I hold it between both hands, but I ignore her in favor of getting a good look at her, forcing her to keep still and fix her gaze at me.
Becca, you're squishing my face.
Tell him, Bella.
How are you? Are you alright?
Why wouldn't I be?
There doesn't seem to be any visible injury, nor does she seem to be in pain. Apart from her confused frown on my question, she looks pretty much like she would any other day. Even so, you can't really tell these things with her at first glance. The last time she got sick, she never bothered to call anyone, even me, who was right next door. If I hadn't checked on her then, she probably would have died in her bed with the rest of us, none the wiser. It's one thing we laugh about now, but moments like these always teach you something about that person. If anything, it has given me more reason to constantly worry about her. And the moment a familiar name comes up, I know my concerns right now aren't completely baseless.
Rose called me earlier.
Her expression swiftly changes, and gently as I can, Isabella pushes her hands away. Yet even before she says anything, I already have a hunch how this whole thing will play out.
Oh, no, everything's good. Rose covered for me at work today.
Sorry about that. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, all of your comments came in at once, Gaia, and I feel like it's actually my end's fault, and I didn't scroll down all the way or something. So, hi! Sorry, I have not been ignoring you, I promise. I just saw them now. Luke's still trash. I don't know about that, baby.
That's not what I'm talking about. How's your head?
Then and there, the whole conversation goes down as I've imagined. What? That was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. She tosses her hand when I reach for the back of her head, intending to check the sad injury myself. Even makes a show of hiding behind Zachary just to avoid me. Instantly, what's supposed to be a simple inquiry dissolves into a shameless game of tag. Yo! This is deja vu. Shouting and chasing like none of us can be bothered to act like fully grown adults we're supposed to be. Oh good. Do know I'm not ignoring you intentionally. I'm ignoring you by accident. My dream. Including Ashton. I won't put it past Isabella, but Ash out of everybody? In fact, if that stupid smirk of his face tells me anything, he finds the whole mess amusing. Oh, for the love of...
Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
Look at these looks.
She did look pale when I saw her.
Wow, thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this. Just you wait.
Oh, snap.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
There's a moment's pause. My hands still mid-air as my attention shifts to Ashton and the words he leaves hanging between the four of us. He doesn't meet my eye. I don't think he's even aware of what he said. But the meaning of each syllable alone is clear. And they echo. They sting. They burn.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then.
Jelly. Of course. Of course. Why else would Isabella leave on her own after being told to stay put, after that little chat about money this morning? Something close to silence falls when I mull over their words, both what's already been said and what's left unspoken. When I find my voice, it only reeks with nothing but bitter, unpleasant thoughts. Thus I quickly stamp before my surface. Thus I find the best I can in the deepest parts of my mind, locking it away for no one to see. Wow, I cannot talk today.
Oh, that's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right? At least. Good.
Awkward. Yet try as I might, the green-eyed monster easily rears its ugly head. Like it always does every time his gaze lingers a bit longer. Every time he smiles in a manner far too gentle, far too sincere, whenever he thinks no one can see it. Every time my mind suggests his words mean more than they should. Every small thing. Despite what he says, despite its tone.
Look, you guys.
For all I know, it may be the same kind of fondness born from friendship. Maybe I'm simply overthinking like he often tells me, or maybe there really is something there. But in this short display of impatience, I know that the whole of it is just a show, after all, growing up together with him didn't teach me nothing about him. For whose sake is it this time, though? For him? For Zachary? For her? Or for me? That I can't
If she
tell.
says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either. Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
Why are you taking her side?
Oh, snap, Becca.
I'm not. But if she wants to watch Zach's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her. She's probably the one looking forward to it the most.
Oh, tell him, Ash.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself. Is that good enough for you?
My mouth opens then snaps shut almost as quickly, forming a thin, hard line instead. I can't respond, not because there's nothing to say. On the contrary, there's plenty, so many things I can use to reason and get him to agree. But because he speaks with much certainty and with much reassurance, it feels like there isn't even a choice. All I can do is a long, deep breath and a reluctant nod in the face of it. Before I get a grip of myself and my own weaknesses, the mood immediately shifts and I'm being tackled into
Thanks,
a hug.
Becca. It's always been you with him, isn't it?
Oh,
Did you say something?
Me? Nothing. Don't mind me.
love a good old-fashioned love triangle. A lie, obviously. What else can it be? Each and every smile, a tiny effort to keep things as they are, or so I tell myself. Little do I know, it is merely preamble. It starts out quietly, when without fanfare, amidst friendly jibs and harmless teasing, with a scrap of paper floating harmlessly to the ground. Ah, yes. One that looks especially like a cheap Halloween prank, no matter how you look at it. And yet, despite how ludicrous it is, Isabella stubbornly insists, as if our whole lives depending on acknowledging the truth of her story. Does she even realize how absurd she sounds? Crevens, even my students wouldn't fall for this.
Isabella, aren't you taking this a bit too far?
She doesn't give me time to regret nor think over my choice of words. From there, it escalates, growing into an argument too petty even for our standards as adults. Before we know it, one another, harsh, scathing words are being spoken.
It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first?
Oh shit.
I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Even someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up.
There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit is true.
But it's real! What do you think I saw?
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
Ooh. Oh wait, I already know this scene. I don't know why I said ooh.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
But someone has to be patient in all of this, and however much my own has already been frayed either earlier, there's no one else. No one else here can deal with someone selfishly acting like a kid. Like every other time, it has to be me.
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Don't bother.
Oh shit. Just like that, she cuts us off, slams the door right in our faces with my own temper flares before I can stop it. Though it falters briefly at the hard expression on her, she snatches the blasted paper from Ash and I hold on to it. Regardless of how upset she appears, soured expression and balled fists, throwing a tantrum is simply unacceptable. For a grown woman at that. Words form at the tip of my tongue ready, but before I open my mouth and let all of it out, her feelings and mistakes be damned, Zachary raises a voice of his own.
Guys!
A warning underneath the warm and hopeful beat in his voice. We all stop and look at him, and even my own anger subsides a little at his tone.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together?
To an outsider, it may seem like a desperate request, but Zachary has always been the one to keep a level head over petty squabbles. This time is no different. He knows what to say, and when he lets it fall, they only ring sharp and true.
We haven't seen each other for months. I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
And as careful as he is in his own tone, he does make me feel ashamed. We're supposed to be here for him, to give what little support we can, yet here he is trying to keep 3 stubborn people from outright hashing out in public. Later we can and will talk about it, of course. There's a proper time and place for it, and the moment my anger and whatever reprimands it carries no longer matter. Besides me, Ashton appears to have already caught on. The lines in his shoulders ease to something much more relaxed, expression back to its usual nonchalance. I don't remember what the line is, I'll be real. Isabella, however, she stands perfectly still, her hands clasping the straps of her bag like a lifeline, eyes turning at some point near her shoes. There's no anger in her face, only an undeniable hurt. But he's never been good at hiding what she thinks. Always the open book, always the one who wears her heart out in the open. And when she looks up, her answer also
If we
is
keep
simple.
arguing here, we're going to miss the first few minutes.
Her lips are curled up in a smile. Though lacking both its usual brightness and glee, it's a smile nonetheless. I've seen it countless times. It's the very same she would show when she knows she has no other choice, or simply when things get tough for her. Despite everything I already know about her, it still catches me off guard. And in all honesty, I expected her to run and balk at the first sign of losing this time. I won't even be surprised. At 26, she is the youngest among the rest of us, less experienced, less accustomed to dealing with trivial quarrels like this. Yet here she is, holding herself and coping with it like she would with matters concerning her family. Outside of that, to me, she's always been this childish, naive girl, and watching the opposite play out right now. Somehow, I find it rather difficult to wrap my head around.
All right, that's the Isabella I know.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you were going to cry.
Oh, I don't remember these moments. But I envy her.
What was that for?
Stop calling me a crybaby! I'm not one!
Aw, don't cry.
Stop it!
I envy her spirit, her warmth, her cheer. The shine in her eyes when she looks at the world. How everything seems to fall simply back into pleasant, lively rhyme with her around. How easily and tightly she fits in our lives, despite without bonds only long years could forge, like a lost piece of puzzle despite her jagged edges. How she draws people to her with ease. How Ashton of all people can be drawn to her.
Okay, scaredy cat then.
That too! If you repeat that, I swear I'll...
Let's just go.
I make no effort keeping the bitterness in my tone. I let it seep, lingering stiffly in the air as I avert my gazes from them. From their playful banter, their friendly teasing remarks, and Ashton's tender, affectionate smiles. All but for the stabbing aches in my heart, changed into something too painful to bear. It's all in my head is what I've told myself often. Yet the way my heart rends at just the sight of them hurts. And like a coward, I walk away from it all, taking with me a small hope the movie will distract me away from these thoughts. Because like this, it's easy to find something to hate in her. Oh, we jealous, boys. Dusk has already given way to night when we leave the film fest. Unfortunately, this does nothing to improve my mood like I'm hoping. Neither does the monkey ear that greets us upon stepping back in the noisy streets. Too busy, too loud. Too many people talking of what little space the sidewalk offers. It forces someone to bump shoulders with those who they barely know, let alone care about. On a normal evening, I probably wouldn't have minded the crowd or the humid air. It's not like any of it are bothering me. And yet, even with what's admittedly a pleasant company, I can't bring myself to lighten up.
See you guys some other time.
Yeah. See ya.
Not even to return the smiles Ashton and Zachary give us when we go our separate ways. Perhaps this started with Miss Cooper calling, or earlier than that. Maybe even the moment I left bed this morning. Bloody hell, it could have been because of that sodding letter for all I know. I couldn't care less at this point. All I know is to get a warm bath, sleep, and wait for this dreadful day to end. Now, if only Isabel would stop babbling, then maybe this dull throbbing at the side of my head wouldn't turn into a full-blown headache too.
Zach did a pretty good job with his movie, didn't he? Even though Ash said he ran into some trouble late into filming. But I knew he had it in him. It's not like I didn't believe he couldn't do it. I mean, did you see his face after the credits rolled? All those months he worked on this.
Aww.
And everything's finally...
You weren't even watching.
What the hell?
Only the first minutes. I watched the rest of it, I swear. Besides, Ashton was the one who wouldn't stop asking questions.
Well, why do we still need to talk about this then? I liked it. Ash liked it. You liked it. Shouldn't you be telling that to Zachary in person? I'm sure he'll appreciate it better than I ever will.
Ooh, that's a bitch answer.
I know that, but maybe there's something you want to say? Zach had you check the scripts before he went through everything, didn't he? You also worked on it, even if it was only for a short time. So, maybe you want to...
I really like Isabella. I feel really bad right now. I don't want to play this girl. I don't bother waiting for the rest. The moment I spot my car, I immediately take a quick beeline for it. Down here is merely another attempt at starting a conversation, just so we'll have something to fill the dead air, to replace the strained atmosphere we've somehow walked into. One thing, the very thing I'm not too keen to deal with at present. Behind me, Isabel also changes her pace to match mine, her soft strides growing brisk and uneven in order to catch up. A small part of me half expects she'll suddenly trip. She's not the clumsy sort, but there's definitely times when she can be the least coordinated person on the planet.
Becca, hey! Oh no! Wait for me!
And people wonder why I worry. They're not really completely unfounded once you've grown familiar with her habits. Though right now, this is also at the very end of the things I want to think about. Sometimes it does become overbearing. Even her voice, as she calls after me, sounds nothing more than the background noise to my ears now.
Rebecca, slow down, will you? Your car's not going to leave without us.
The sooner we get on the road, the earlier we can get home. It's Friday, in case you didn't notice.
She's such a bitch!
I know what day it is, but the traffic's not going to magically disappear, even if we go there right now.
I don't want to hear that from you.
Oh, she's such a bitch!
Didn't you used to complain how horrendous the traffic is back home for you?
Yeah? But that doesn't have anything to do with this, Becca.
Okay. What do you want to do then? Wait it out? Walk? I just want to go home, Isabella. If you want to stay out here longer, I won't stop you. But leave me out of it. I'm not up for any other foolish excursions tonight.
Oh, she's such a bitch. Why do I hate Becca so much?
I wasn't thinking about an excursion. I want to go home too. It's already late. It's just that you've been in this prickly mood since earlier. Are you really okay? Was it the cold? Or did something happen at school? Do you want to talk about it?
A long pause follows and holds everything she's been meaning to ask from the very start. I'm in no mood, but all the same, my hand stops short of unlocking my car, and my grip on the handle tightens. I feel her eyes boring on me, waiting, hoping patiently for any answer I'd give. She's the same as Zachary. They're bad liars. But when you look to people like them, if you're not careful, they often leave you with no other choice but to admit the truth. Those exact same ones I can't voice. Despite my lack of response, she pushes on surprisingly. This time her tone is quieter and more tentative than usual.
Was it because of the letter?
Oh snap. It's a well-meaning question, much like the rest of the talk, yet something in how she says it irks me.
If it is, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to cause a scene. I did see something in the mansion, though. I wasn't lying about that.
Whatever she wants to take this, I no longer want to hear a word of it. Not this minute, preferably never. Especially when there's already a trillion other things buzzing and prodding inside my head. Ooh, boy, I'm probably going to answer with what my heart wants. I am curious what chat wants, so I'm going to delay slightly, and I don't think I'm going to get too many answers, so I'm going to go with what my heart is, which is this cold caught up with me. But I'm going to wait a few seconds just to see if chat would respond. 3, 2, 1, bada bing!
And during the open house, even if there were a lot of people around, there were weird things happening.
Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, went up. Fuck yeah. I'll take it.
I don't know if there was anyone else who noticed.
Yo, Link guy, we did it.
Things. I'm sure it wasn't because I fell down the stairs. Even before that, in the attic,
Isabella.
Yeah?
A pause, though I don't let it last. Only give myself a small window to breathe before I lay down the words between us, much with as restraint my patience allows, which is not much after everything. I only hope Isabella will simply take them as they are. She can be as stubborn as a mule whenever she wants.
This kind of conversation tonight. Look, it's been a long day. I think this cold also caught up with me, and I'm really exhausted. Can we talk about this some other time?
She blinks, and though disappointment flashes momentarily on her face, she gives me a curt nod. A relief enough for me, perhaps the first time I generally feel it today. As unpleasant as today has been, seeing something go the way I anticipated takes the edge out of it. Even if lying through my teeth had to go with it.
Oh, alright. You should have just said so. I told you should have taken a full week off. Were you able to get the meds I brought you, though? Do you need anything? I could drop by the pharmacy for you.
Yeah, no need to fuss. A good night's sleep is all I need. I've been busy the whole day. I guess I should have listened to you and taken it easy. But we have exams to prepare for. It's one or the other, you know?
I knew it! Here I thought you were just upset about something.
Oh, snap.
Even Ash looked a little bit worried about you.
It's fine. Let's just head home, okay? I'll make it up to you next time. Call me out to lunch or wherever. Just... not right now.
Okay, but should you be driving? If you want, I can call a taxi for us. You'll hate paying the extra fees, but you'll be able to get some rest on the way home.
No, don't call a cab. I can manage driving at least. Just get in the car so we can be on our way.
I'm already opening the door and climbing the seat before she can protest. Left no other choice, she follows inside shortly, albeit with a bit of reluctance. The guilt from this will eat at me later, but for now, these little falsehoods are mine to bear and hide under. For now, this is the better choice. Better than pretending she doesn't exist or giving her vague answers. Certainly better than harsh words and outright lashing at her. I find a little comfort in that. Thankfully, if there is anything left to be spoken between us after, we won't have to discuss it on the way home. Or rather, we can't, because no sooner than we hit the road, Isabella dozes off. Despite my foul mood, I still end up suppressing a laugh once the first sounds of her breathing fill the car.
Mama?
Aww.
Not your mom, Isabella.
Slow and steady, the quiet rhyme, so carefully unlike her. The quiet rhythm, I don't know why I said rhyme, so completely unlike her, so far removed from every impression anyone has of her. A few faint whimpers, oh my god, English is so fucking hard today. A few faint whimpers will occasionally come from her, but otherwise it's just us. This silence and so utterly unexpected. Still a welcome break, of course. Peace and quiet is one thing you'll rarely get with her around. Yet it's nowhere near comforting. It merely lends the ear to this strange clarity. Every little sound, every single movement more palpable, and with it comes the unease. Just surprise hits me. It's almost comical if this were a different situation. In my haste, I accidentally dislodged my mobile from the seat on the dashboard when I swipe on the screen. Soon I'm scrambling blindly with my other hand while keeping a steady eye on the road ahead. Oh, Rose. A voice crackles in the loudspeakers before I pull it back. Though muffled heavily by the surface, I recognize the person on the other line from her chipper tone
Hello?
alone.
Miss Cooper?
Oh, you're still awake. Evening. I hope I didn't disturb you or anything. I know it's a bit late. Sorry about that. I just want to check on you and Isabella. That girl's still not answering her mobile. Were you able to meet up with her?
Yes. She's with me. We're on our way home.
Hello? What was that again? I can't hear you properly.
Sorry. Let me just fix this dumb phone.
I'm gonna save, because I expect QTs at some point. Huh? My hand stops dead for a moment. She dies tomorrow, right? I spare the device a brief glance, waiting. Seconds pass. Nothing happens, though. Like, if I'm trying to recall correctly. But she passes after this, right? Whatever. Frankly, I'm not sure what I'm expecting. The lines from my mouth forms into a frown, regardless.
Miss Cooper?
Yes, still here.
Did you say something?
Just that I didn't get the last part. What were you saying again?
No, I thought you... Never mind. Must be the signal acting up. Coming in?
What?
Is everything all right over there?
Certainly. Is something wrong? What wouldn't?
I will say, these static connection things are really fucking cool.
Okay, you seem to be busy. If this is a good time, I can just call you back some,
I'm making a conscious effort not to panic right then and there. Although my tight hold on the steering wheel tells a different story
Miss
altogether.
Cooper? Rose? Hey, Rose! Are you still there?
Only bursts of static answers in the end. Maybe this lasts entirely because of exhaustion. The static shit's really fucking cool, I'm not gonna lie. It has been a long time, and I haven't fully recovered from last week's bout of flu, contrary to what I've been telling people. Though perhaps had I paid closer attention to it, had I not been so occupied with other thoughts, I probably would have noticed earlier that it never came from my phone. From somewhere behind me. Ah, hello. Time slows to a crawl. Looking up is a mistake. The first thing I see is a face, a ghostly shade, every inch battered, bruised, and bloodied. In the darkness and the road passing by in a blur of lights outside, I can make out the wounds. Blood still oozes from it, the little trails of crimson running down its face, glistening under what little lights there is. But the gleam of its eyes that catches mine. The quiet plea, the anguish and desperation in them. More of its hideous features and awful stench of gore now soaking the air. And try as I might, I can't bring myself to look away. Even his lips contort into a horrific smile. Even a sharp, harsh noise pierces the air and silence around us.
Rebecca! Huh? Car! Eyes on the road!
Oh, damn. It's everything I've been taught. I've constantly reminded myself I close my eyes. A brief moment, a short, vivid second of muscle memory and instinct completely taking over. As if I didn't allow if my eyes didn't move or my feet didn't hit the brakes in that exact second, I might have. Man, this is some horror game shit. Isabella and I might have. No. I shake the notion away before I lose it myself. Right now is an ugly line of thought I refuse to venture into. Not when breathing is a struggle and every ounce of strength has been completely drained from my body. Well, it's definitely not while Isabella's panicked voice beside me still rings in my ears. We're alive. We're safe. That's all that matters. But it's not her face that I look for when I finally open my eyes. All gone. I expected stains, little telling marks or creases on the cover that shows me where I sat not a second ago. But whatever it is, it left with not a single trace. And though courage is a hard thing to gather at this point, I take what little of it remains in me and towards the back seat. And then there's nothing. Or was there really something there in the first place? With how empty it is, I'm beginning to doubt it. This stupid fool.
I need a long rest after this.
My hands fall uselessly to my sides, numb from how gaunt my grip on the wheel has gone, yet still tumbling with the unexpected rush of adrenaline. Against my ears, my heart still pounds with erratic rhythm, and my breathing hasn't slowed down. But the world has already right itself without waiting for me, and little by little, second after second, I stay here motionless. Color begins to steep back around me. Along with it are the sounds of voice, no longer the indistinct ringing it was earlier.
Becca! Becca! Are you okay? Answer me, will you? You're scaring me! You know what? I think we should just call a taxi since...
Can you keep it down?
But I think Bella has every right to be panicked if they almost fucking died, and then this is the fucking answer you get? Strained, harsh, and completely unintentional, but with heat prickling in the back of my eyes and mind throbbing in my temple, I honestly do with a little silence for now.
Keep it down? We almost crashed, Becca!
Tell him, Bella!
I know what happened. It was a lapse. I'm sorry.
A lapse? You call that a lapse? Becca, I really don't want to end up a mangled mess on the side of the road. Or a mangled mess anywhere.
She's been a massive bitch. And like, okay, so pause for a second. Like, I get it. I totally get it. Two things. I get you're jealous of Bella because you have this love since you were a kid. And he doesn't love you back. And now he might love her and you're jealous. I get it. I get it. I read manga. I get it. It's fine. And I also get the fact that she's tired, she went through a lot of things for no reason because Bella just left, and she's coming from recovering sickness. I get that too. And I guess she's self-aware that she's kind of being a bitch too. It still doesn't excuse that she almost killed both of them, even if it's justified because of the spirit, and is still being a bitch in return. It's not even like, oops, I am sorry for almost killing us. It's more of a, Bella, you're freaking out because you almost died? Shut the fuck up. And I'm like, come on, Becca. Come on. Sorry, had to rant for a second. Hey fam, I took lunch early today, so I can't hang out, but I'm getting out early, so I might be able to catch the end of the stream. I hope you do. We're playing to a good end point, but I don't know when you get out, but hope you can see the end. Fingers crossed, Melissa. Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, we're on the same page, Nico. I'm just elaborating on the agreed side, I feel. In conclusion, I like Bella a lot more than Rebecca. And I'm hoping Rebecca, like, wins karma points with me, because I don't want to play a character I don't like. But I really don't like Rebecca so far.
All I'm asking, if the time ever comes, which I hope isn't right now, is a peaceful death. Give that one to me, at least. Not that I'm asking for it, but please.
Oh, we're having a spooky old time, Melissa. Cheers to that.
Isabella. Belle, you're overreacting. If you're so worried, why don't you drive?
Don't have a license.
I keep telling you to get one, didn't I? For the past 5 years.
Don't flip this because she can't drive.
Do you see why now?
I wasn't really expecting to stay here this long. I thought it'd just be for a year or two.
Oh no! Come on! All of a sudden, my pencil mood comes over her. Isabel looks away then, while what's left of my little lecture never crosses the tip of my tongue. I don't allow it to, because in each of those words she let loose earlier is a small truth. Her stay has always been meant to be something fleeting. Earn some good money, go home. That's what she told herself during her first year here. Now, half a decade later, I'm not sure if she still believes that. I'm not sure I still believe it. And there's something in her reasons that has changed along the way. Even if I'm already over 100, it's something I'll never bother to ask. Rebecca's a huge bitch. I totally agree. And normally, I devil's advocate it up right now, but no, I just think she's a bitch. And she has reasons for being a bitch, and her character is a bitch, and etc., but it still doesn't change the fact that she's a fucking bitch. Those are hers to keep.
I'll be careful this time, I promise. Just please. Can we give this whole thing a rest for now?
She nods, and that's the end of it. We spend the rest of the trip back to Salmo in silence. All thoughts of an overactive imagination playing tricks on a flow-by the mind, and of smiles never meant for my eyes abandoned, if only for a brief moment. That's what I'm saying. Like, once again, I'm not mad at her for almost killing them. I'm mad at her for being a bitch after Bella reacts in a normal fashion of, holy shit, we almost died. And Bella wasn't even like, Rebecca, you almost killed us, this is your fault. Bella was just like, can we get a taxi? I don't want to die. She was like, look at this fucking log. Oh, what? I know everyone's on my side, but just look at this fucking log. Look at this fucking log. She's like, are you okay? Easy. Answer me, Will, you're scaring me. Fair point. You know what? I think we should call a taxi. All of these are fair points. She cares about her friend right here. You know, you don't get a response, so, you know, you're a little worried. You get it, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I think we should call a taxi. Never once was it, Becca, you bitch. How did you crash this car? I rest my case, Your Honor. Yeah, she lied before the car. Be a bitch twice. You know what? Preach it, Nico. The day passed, and so is my anger. Psych, it's still there. It begins innocently enough. Tuesday morning arrives, just like any other day before, bright and clear. Even though it comes with an extra helping of the unusual October weather, I appreciate being able to catch a glimpse of the clear skies lately. Court adjourned. Verdict to the plaintiff. Fuck yeah. Death by grudge ghost is the sentence. See ya, nerd. I'm only not going to intentionally kill her because I just have this feeling that if she dies, other people will die by her not being there. So that's how these games usually work, I feel. We've already read this before and I was pulling it up while I rant. She's 29. She's the second youngest? To our knowledge, she's the second youngest. Cool. Grand. Swell. Even though it comes with an extra helping of the unusual October weather, I appreciate being that I already read this line. After going through a bout of sickness last week, it does something to lift the mood of what would otherwise be a dreary morning. What day is it right now? It's the 25th now, and the last we were on the what day? We were on the we were on the 21st, and now it's the 25th, so 4 days passed. Right, I will not intentionally kill anybody, even if I don't like them. I will not intentionally kill Luke, unless it's like, Luke loads his gun to shoot at Zachary. I'll be like, okay, maybe I'll try to intentionally kill him in those moments, if I can, if it's a choice. But until then, I'm hoping to save everybody, despite how shitty they are. This may change based on what they do, obviously. Despite being mostly a creature of habit, I wind up waking earlier than usual because of it. Still no earlier than Isabella, it appears. We were on the 23rd? I thought we were on the 21st! Because Cooper didn't die yet. I think it's the 21st. Because... yeah, the hug, we see the movie, we have this argument, blah. The sound of morning news drifts from our unit when I walk past on the way to my mailbox. Chances are around this hour she's already dressed and ready to go, probably just waiting for the next bus to arrive. I tried following her example before, and I don't think I'll be repeating it.
Really? How can anyone be up before the sun is up?
It's a habit she got from home, she said, instilled in her by the kind of life she grew up in. Excuse me. Like clockwork, it's always at 4 a.m., either to help with the chores or prepare her little siblings for school. It surprised me the first time. She just didn't look like someone who could. English! Gah! In the end, I simply pass it off as one of the many things someone will have to get used to look around her. Not that I ever fully understand. I'm my parents' only child. We aren't well off, but so far I've lived a relatively easy life. I don't have to think about bills or food for the next day, or paying for any sibling's tuition on top of my own, or supporting a sick father's medication. All I have to worry about were my grades, if it gained mom or dad's or da's approval, or what we'd have for dinner. When put next to hers, they all pale in comparison. They look less like problems and more like petty issues this way.
Petty issues?
But as unimportant as it sounds, sometimes its ugly head rears at the most inappropriate moments, and sometimes they usually come through my mailbox in the form of a fancy-looking letter, pretty ribbons and all. Whoever sent this has spent silly money on the envelope alone. Verging on ridiculous, really. I can already imagine Isabella wrinkling her nose when she sees this. Then she'll complain about unnecessary expenses and rich people problems. I'm almost afraid to touch it myself, as if simply brushing my hand against Chris' surface will be enough to put a crease on it, and it'll be a terrible slight to the sender. But as striking as I find this, it isn't really the first time I've received one. Most of the times it's not for me, but who am I to complain? Either way, no look of surprise crosses my face as I flip the envelope over to see my parents' name written in a neat script.
Nothing new then.
The years in the academy naturally brought with it various connections, people from other fields, art, science, business, politics, you name it. This one gives off a much more personal vibe. Letters like this usually comes from all students, people who've grown fond of my parents and they in return treat their children of their own. I've only met a few of them. Most have moved on to become successful in their chosen careers, and little letters like this are their way of expressing gratitude. I have never had a teacher where I would invite them for a future thing. I will confess. Maybe I'm just a very sad man, but you know what? That's a lie. There's one teacher I maybe would have, Mr. Shaw. But I don't know if I invite him to, something out of town. Oh, well, this is getting weird now. I'm gonna keep going. It's one thing Mom and Dad are proud of, rightfully so, and I'm happy for them. But there are times I wish they'll remember they have a daughter here. The real one. Not that it's of any importance now. It's not like they didn't raise me well and provide for me. They did. I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for their hard work. And like a dutiful child, I did everything I can to give it back. Even if the small thing is letting them know they've got another mail waiting for them. The phone rings for a good minute before someone answers. Mom, her voice is warm as I remember.
Becca?
Hi, Mum. How's the conference going?
Oh, that's nice.
Well enough. Until your dad sprained his ankle.
My dad regularly emails one of his former teachers to chat and shoot the shit. Oh, that's cute. Once again, I don't know if it's just me. I had a teacher I used to visit once a year, but even I don't do that anymore. So I don't know if I'm just a cold, brittle man or if it's more of an old-fashioned thing. I don't know. Fingers crossed. Shrugs.
Oh no, is it bad?
I'm alright. In case anyone in this family cares to listen, I'm alright. Very much alive, darling.
And there you have it. He'll be up and walking in a few weeks, don't worry. We're going to have to extend our stay here until it heals, though. Is something the matter?
Nothing big. Just that this mail arrived for you this morning.
A lie. Thankfully, she doesn't notice. Though, if I'm going to be honest, a small part of me yearns for her to do so and asks me about it, but I put down that idea almost as soon as it surfaces. I shouldn't make them fret. They're busy.
What does it say?
Raise your glasses, give cheers to the good times, blah, blah.
Becca manners. That isn't how I taught you to read.
Sorry. You are cordially... it's an invitation, Mum, for a housewarming party. From, Hannah?
The name rings a bell, though at the moment I can't recall when or where I've heard it recently. It's nothing too important if it didn't bother committing it to memory. I'm somewhat in touch with an elementary/high school librarian and one of my grad school profs I chat with Ciento sometimes. That makes more sense. I was like, Ciento? That's cute. Once again, I don't know if it's just me, so... I was never close with anyone in college. And high school, I got that one teach. And, I like some other teachers, but I wouldn't go back to visit for them. So maybe I'm just a jaded student. Single tier. There are a lot of Hanas in the world, so who knows?
Hannah.
She also wrote you a note, Mum. It says you used to be her private tutor at the Evans mansion.
What the fuck is happening? Scary shit, we playing a bitch. You know how it do, Harrison.
And that she misses you and would love to see you two again.
Why are you getting emotional over this one? It makes my heart clutch to read another openly say those words to them, the same ones I want to tell them. Just fucking, they're your parents! I want to see you too. It's been years since we've been together as a family, and there's one thing that hasn't changed from childhood. It's that Mom and Dad are still busy with their respective careers. I get it if something awkward happened in their life, but I guarantee it's not just you, Josh. Oh, good. That's important. I would hate to be... that would be a very sad thing if it was just me, I will confess. Family problems, yikes. Like, okay, so family problems, I totally get it. Like, I'm not one to complain about family problems. Like, obviously. Like, I'm blessed with a good relation with my family, but at the same time, I get it. I honestly do. At the same time, though, like, and maybe the game will reveal, maybe they had some kind of fight, and that's why it's awkward or something. But in my current knowledge of their family seems good. Just her family's busy. Like, nothing really stops her from saying, yo, I love you. Like, when you're done with work, we should hang or some shit. Parent issues intensifies. Like, once again, I get it. It's just, until I discover some tragic backstory, I don't get it. Out of the country, away on some meeting or symposium, there we go, sometimes for months on end. I never heard that word in my life. It only grew more frequent with the years until I'm old enough to live on my own. I like to think that I've become more independent at such an early age. They always praised me for that. At times I wish they didn't.
Oh, I remember now. Honey, it's Hannah Evans. Remember? Bright girl, 2 years older than Becca?
Didn't she get married a few years ago? 7 now, I think. But, they grow up so fast, these kids.
Yeah, she invited us to that too. Fonte de Medici. But we missed that one because you had to present your paper in Singapore.
We did send her a note after. Still a shame we couldn't attend, though. What is it about this time?
She sent another invite for a housewarming party. Becca, when is it?
This Friday, Mum.
Oh, that's too bad. We'd love to be there, but Da's not in a condition to go walking around. I guess we'd have to decline again. I really miss that girl.
I could go in your place.
I let it slip without thinking. Personally, I've never been fond of greetings, regardless of how simple people make it seem. But if there's one thing I hate hearing, that disappointed note, my mom's voice always ranks first. Whether it's directed at me or some other thing doesn't matter.
Are you sure? Don't you have work this Friday?
The event will be in the evening, Mum. It shouldn't take anything away from my schedule.
Hold on one second. I will now proceed to bully someone who's not American.
The event will be in the evening, Mum. It shouldn't take anything away from my schedule. The event will be in the evening, Mum. It shouldn't take anything away from my schedule.
Ugh. Schedule. That's not how God made that word. Tisk tisk. She said it. And tell him, Nico.
It's all right.
There we go.
The invite's for 2 people. I can bring someone with me so things don't get boring.
Ooh, she knows what she's going for.
I see. Maybe you can also invite Ashton?
Mum, that's a sure no from him. He hates attending parties. But I'll see what I can do.
She's so blushy. Joshua. Sorry.
If not, I can always bring Isabella with me. You know her. She won't say no if there's food involved.
Okay, if it's not going to be a big problem for you, I don't see why not. We owe you this one, darling.
No problem, Mum. I'll even say hi to Hannah for you.
Okay, real talk. This is like one of those deep chats where you, the chat room, speaks to me, the boy, and me, the boy, speaks to you, the chat room, and we have these good talks. So, like, do your parents ever say I owe you one? Because my parents never do, but that might be like an Asian thing. Like, I've never heard my parents say I owe you one. And once again, I'm not expecting them to or anything. I'm not like complaining like, they owe me ones. Come on, parents. it's not a thing we say, so. Is it like a thing other parents say? Question mark. We're Chinese, of course. Yeah, I get you, Harrison. Oh, the longer we play the record, the more I feel like she's a friend of me and not a friend. No, like when I do something, like pay for a thing. Like, even then, which once again, like, on the awkward, and I'm like, alright, let's keep paying for things. Like, I've never heard the verbiage. Like, sometimes it's implied, you know, if I do an action and blah, 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 but my parents only have been grateful. Never like they owe me, just like they're really happy. I help them with stuff. And what's, yeah. Well, your parents are woke too, don't get me wrong. Don't get anyone wrong. All your parents are woke. Well, this is a touchier subject that I would like. Your parents are cool in my books. Nothing against them. I just have never heard the I owe you ones from a parent before, so it's just weird to hear it. IDK. Maybe I'm just psychoanalyzing everything Rebecca says because I'm like her. It's really at the end of the day.
Please do. And let her know we'd love to see her once we're back in the city. Leave her our number or something.
I will.
But you know, the two of you would have become really good friends.
Yeah, I definitely know your dad don't lie. I tell you that.
Don't you remember? You met with her once. If my memory serves me right, you were 12 then?
Like when I got them groceries and drove them for my dad's surgery, they were glad we had you. But yeah, for sure. Like my parents show gratitude too, but like I've never heard the phrase "I owe you one" after a good deal. You know, it's I get thank you or I appreciate it or this means a lot. You know, good shit like that. And that's all I need. I'm cool with that shit. I don't want the "I owe you one." So when I hear this game, I'm like, is that like a thing other families do? I don't fucking know. I'm just engaging with my chat room. That's all. Becca's like a she doesn't really like once again, like I feel like she likes Isabel, but I feel like she more hates Isabel from jealousy than likes Isabel as a friend, which basically means she does not like Isabel, if that makes sense. Maybe it's a white person thing. I don't know. I got a lot of not white people in this chat, so maybe my sample size for white people problems are low. Yeah. No, I got you. It's probably one of those meetings where we only talked a bit before going our way. And by the way, if your parents say "oh, you want," I'm not judging either. I've just never heard it, so I'm just curious. If she did leave an impression, I'm pretty sure I would have written about it somewhere, or at least recognized her name. As it is, the only few people I remember clearly from that time in my life is Ashton and Mandy, to some extent. Mom must have sensed my confusion because she laughs.
Don't push yourself too hard, darling.
1/8 French, my bad. Basically white. Good try, Nico. Minority status, lost. Dropped it. If white people's Thank you. Finally. I act 100% white, so I'm basically white too. Bada bing.
Really? It felt like having two daughters back then. Sometimes I wish they didn't send her away to boarding school. But, well, you know how often that goes with them.
Boom. Stop yourself, the white person. Yo, tell him, guy.
Still, try talking to her while you're there.
Oh, we'll see. I'll let you know what happens after.
I act white, if not for the lack of racism, but sorry, too touchy of a subject.
I'm looking forward to it, darling. Take care of yourself.
Will do. You too, Mom. Bye. Tell Da to be careful next time.
She chuckles then. A hearty one, tender and always light in my ears. She may be a stern teacher, but this part of her I love the most. The sound of it still echoes even as our call calls to an abrupt end, bringing with it a memory from so many years ago, when life and responsibilities that accompany adulthood are things far from our minds. If given the chance, I'd love to go back to those things. Listen, if you don't know if those are the police drag, the Lord knows I do. Every chance I get, Gaia, you know it. I don't dwell on it, though, shaking it all away almost as soon as the memory forms a clear picture in my head. I always wonder how Isabella can easily pretend everything's normal over a phone call, then bounce back to her usual self immediately after. I've seen her do it plenty of times. For me, it just drains whatever energy I have, and with a whole day of teaching still ahead of me, I can't afford to look exhausted in front of my students. Even a wee bit. It's never a good example to set. So with another sigh, I put myself in the back of my mind and tread back to my room. Wait, what day is it today? Like, I know it's the 23rd, or 25th? But, is that it's Tuesday. Cool. The rest of my day waits. What? Oh, okay, I was like, is something coming? What? 15 minutes later, I'm heading back out, dressed for the day, my car keys in hand. Ordinarily, I don't stop for anything. There's never a need to. That's the beauty of this apartment complex. It's quiet and everyone keeps to themselves. No useless platitudes in the morning. No need to wear a smile on your face, lest other people are nosy enough to ask. Today, however, the morning broadcast still plays from Isabella's room. The brisk pace slows to a stop, and a frown gradually forms on my face.
She hasn't left.
Of course, that isn't unusual. There were times when I've left earlier than she did, like last Friday before their open house. But these days are few and far between. It only happens in the direct circumstances, though the last part of that might have been an exaggeration. However, though what happened the last few days, maybe today is one. The death of a friend isn't something anyone can brush off, or for someone like Isabella. Isabella's the kind who gets attached to people easily. With Zachary Ashton and I, that has been the case. I can't imagine what she might be going through right now, especially when the woman she was someone she owed a lot, despite their training being brief. I've given her the space last night in deference, but perhaps today might be the proper time to check on her. It's been, like, what, 1 day? When did it happen? It's been 2 days! Because you find out October at night, and then this is the 1 day, and it's the morning of the 25th, so it's basically been 1 day. So it's like, oh, you know, my really close boss died, and I'm still sad about it over 24 hours. There's something wrong with Isabella. Okay, I'm being overly harsh. I'm sorry.
Oh, whatever. I've still got time anyway.
So she's got time, so I might as well check up with my friend. I got nothing better to do. With my steps, I move closer to her door, hand already poised to knock. So I don't do so until I hear her answer.
Isabella? Belle? Are you in there?
No answer. After a second, I finally knock, lightly so I don't disturb her, and in case she's sleeping and has merely left the telly running last night. Never mind how she never lets that happen, ever. Waste electricity on.
I just want to check on you before I leave. Is that okay? Are you going to work today, Belle?
Still nothing.
I'm about to leave. If you want, I can drop you off.
Another round of knocking. Then I'm fishing out the copy of her key from my bag and locking the door. Ah, she's left it years ago, and I've complained about the mess and offered my help in cleaning up. I thought the gesture was completely unnecessary back then. After all, I could always knock. But she never did bother taking them from me, always returning away the conversation whenever I insist. At some point, I simply stopped trying and hand it back to her.
Isabella? I'm coming in, all right?
Without waiting for an answer, I pushed the door open and stepped inside. Her unit is still a mess. It's on the table, a pile of clothes on one side, papers strewn about everywhere, an unkept bed, among other things. This much is a given. Will always be a given. I mean, yeah. Like, I get the concern, but if I was, like, moping after my boss died in, like, basically, like, 27 hours, I would not want you to just enter my apartment complex. Like, I get your concern if I'm, like, if I'm self-mutilating myself or something like that. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I'm trying to go for. But if I'm not answering at that point, it's already probably too late. / like, I definitely don't want to talk to someone if it's not too late. It's one of the two, you know. Just text me. That's all I ask. Text me. We'll be good. We'll be Gucci. Also, side note, while I'm on this topic. So the last conversation on the 18th or whatever that day was, I don't remember, it was the 21st actually? 21st. The last thing we hear over the static key phone is, Rose saying, help me, but we don't know if she says it or not. And then we find out on the news, Rose dies with the words, help me, on the walls. And for some strange fucking reason, Becca is not at all disturbed by this. She's like, oh, Bella's friend died. That's sad. Now that, like, the last thing she hears from Rose is the words help me, and then she finds out she's dead with the words help me over it. And you can say, Josh, Rebecca did not see the news article / TV report, and that's totally reasonable. But I am under the impression she has because she knows about the friend's death. And how else would she find it? Bella didn't tell her, because she's under a lot of shit right now. I think the last thing she would do is just message Rebecca out of the blue saying, my boss died, I'm sad. She probably just found out because she watches the news. This is my TED Talk. Thanks for entering. This much is a given. Will always be given. I'm sorry. I'm a lot of emotions right now. Becca's kind of something. She's not even, like disturbed by the fact that the last call she had from Rose in some creepy static thing that said "help me," and then you can confirm that Rose said it, but you find out she's dead and it has the words "help me" over it. And once again, she's definitely the type to watch the news. She's definitely the type to read the paper. She would know at least about the way this person died. If Becca, who doesn't seem to watch the news, can find out. Sorry, I have a lot of emotions right now. If this is very whiny to hear and you don't want to hear it, let me know, because I don't want you guys to suffer because I'm full of emotion. I've been there several times, and I still wonder how she can function like a human being with a place in the state. However, that's neither here nor there. I'm not sure what I'm expecting. It's certainly not finding an empty flat. Granted, she could have left earlier, far earlier than usual, but she never leaves without making sure she's unplugged everything. That's something she doesn't forget to do. She doesn't help, but her bathroom appears unused this morning. This is cute, though. I fucks with this. This is cute, too. I fucks with this, too. Another habit, it can only mean that she hasn't been here since last night. Perhaps even since the morning after Miss Cooper's death. Either idea doesn't sit with me with the news we've been hearing.
The authorities are still trying to find the cause of death for all the victims.
That'll scare the shit out of me.
Early investigation revealed most of them were employed under Briar Realty Corporation at the time of death. Meanwhile, BRC has refused to comment on this.
Gathering my wits, I immediately call a place on her mobile. It rings for a good minute. The sound of comfort in itself, but when another minute rolls by without her answering, I'm not a woman prone to panicking. Sudden bouts of temper maybe, but never panic, despite how I may sound when speaking. Okay, perfect. Once again, if I sound too whiny, or if it's just not fun to hear, let me know, I'll stop. But for now, I'm just gonna shoot my shot. Thank you. That means a lot, actually. Salutated. When it ultimately goes straight to her voicemail, a sigh is the only thing I let out. The pause doesn't last long, though. The next 2 moments, my finger already moving across the screen in search for the 2 people who might be able to help. Not a fan of Becca. Yeah. Okay, so. Okay, I'm gonna answer this phone, then I'm gonna talk. Call I have it, but even Isabella might think he's dependable when the situation calls for it, despite how much they've given each other grief. That usually says a lot about him. Excuse me. It's Zachary, but around this hour he's probably still sleeping. If he's a freelance worker, it's very likely he's gotten himself in bed. He's the last person I want to bother with anything. The wait doesn't take long. Soon a click, and then Ashton's voice echoes through the receiver, rough and still heavy with sleep. Okay, so quick thing. Currently, I am welcome to change, and I'm welcome to allow things differently, but Rebecca's my least favorite character. Now, you might be wondering, Josh, Luke is super racist, super antagonistic, misogynistic, blah, blah, blah. But Luke is, clearly a villain. They gave him all these attributes to hate on him. So, I don't like Luke. He's second least favorite. But, they gave him all these traits to hate on him, obviously. I feel like we're not supposed to hate Rebecca, but she's given all these traits that make me hate Rebecca, so I like her the least. You know what I'm saying? She's not as bad as Luke, obviously. I've yet to see any racism. Misogyny would be weird for Rebecca. She's not classist or anything yet, to my knowledge. She's given no character flaws. In fact, I assume she'll be sympathetic because she has a love interest who doesn't love her back. And, her family relationship's on the yeet. But, she has no flaws to make me hate her, so my hate for her is based entirely on the dialogue she's given. Whereas Luke is way more detestable, obviously. But, Luke from square one, we're supposed to hate him. So me hating Luke makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Luke being, I understand other people's Luke's being your least favorite too. I think Luke was the most detestable, obviously. By a fucking long shot. And nothing Rebecca does is close to as bad as what Luke has done. Luke has definitely done, Luke's sins are fucking the Empire State Building, if fucking Becca's sins are a house. So, I get it. I totally get it. But I like Rebecca less, because she's not, in my opinion, written to be hated. I think we're supposed to sympathize with Rebecca because of her family thing and her jealousy and whatever. But I hate her because of it. But fuck Luke. Yeah, once again, I totally get it if you hate Luke more. His actions are way worse than Becca's. So I totally get it. Like, you know, like fucking a guy who murders people. I can't be like, whoa, you know, he fucking murders people, but his backstory implies he was going to murder, so it's not as bad. Like, I'm not trying to say that, obviously. I just personally don't hate Luke as much, but he's definitely fucking second least favorite for me. And they're pretty fucking close. And I'm still willing to rise Becca up on the list if she gives me a reason. He just wants to help with those sweats. I'm gonna keep going. Soon a click, and then Ashton's voice echoes to the receiver. Roth is still heavy with sleep. 1 second. Cool. He never did grow fond of monkeys.
Becca? Christ, what time is it? What's up?
Not you, apparently.
Ooh, never mind. That line was good. She's second favorite character now. Let go. I'm kidding.
Good one.
Oh, Ash. Good response. He's my favorite now.
Did you call us early just to make that joke? I'm going back to sleep.
No, Ash, hold on. This is important.
Becca, stakeout last night. Make this quick. I've still got a few hours before the chief bothers me.
Sorry, I'll let you go back to sleep after. It's just that... Wait, you were on a stakeout last night?
Did I say that? Shit. Forget I said that. Forget I said anything. Forget we had this conversation.
So, you have no idea?
About what? About what? I also have no idea why we're talking so early in the morning, so there's that.
Hold on, what? Pause.
About what?
Okay,
I also have no... About what? About what? About what? About what? About what? About what?
Okay, that's just...
I also have no
That's
idea
not...
why we're
That's his
talking
fault.
so...
No, will you stop sleep talking or whatever for a second? Belle didn't come home last night. She's gone. Isabella!
Okay, damn, that's some bad sleepy. Instead of an answer, the brief pause comes after, followed by something blunt and heavy-hitting, a hard surface, and a string of rather colorful curses from him. What the fuck was that? Oh, I can't rehear that one. Okay, the moment might have been one of the many things I've kept to myself, and remember finally the next few days that things weren't the way they were. When he picks up again, there's no trace of sleep left in his voice.
Say that again, from the top.
Isabella's gone, Ash. She didn't come home last night. Her flat's empty. She left her telly running. You know she doesn't do that at...
He yeeted something. He yeeted my heart.
Okay, Becca, stop. Calm down first. You're starting to panic.
I'm not!
You are. Breathe. One person's not going to simply disappear like that. This is Isabella we're talking about. Did you try calling her?
What did you think is the first thing I did?
Not necessary, but okay, Becca.
She's not picking up. It went to her voicemail.
How about Zach? Did you check with him?
Not yet. I didn't want to bother him. You know he has trouble sleeping and all that.
All right. I'll go ask Zach. I'll call you back.
No, wait!
He ends the call before I utter a word of protest. But for the first time since entering the room, the tension is gone from my shoulders and my breathing is eased. The bed creaks as I sink down on it with a sigh. The telly still blurs the same uninteresting news, and I'm surrounded by clutter. All the same, it feels strangely calm to be here without worry nagging at me. I have to apologize to Zachary later for sending Ash in his way this early, but for now, relying on the ladder for this isn't the wrong choice. It never will be. There's something I won't doubt. I won't ever doubt in him, much like his promises. True to his word, he calls back only a few minutes after the first one has ended.
She's with Zach.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. She could have at least sent a message last night.
What are you, her mother?
Oh, got him. It's one thing to hear from Isabella, but from Ashton?
I don't want to hear anything like that from you.
I'm serious. You've got to stop treating her like she's one of your students, Becca. You don't have to keep tabs on her every time. Last I checked, she's only 3 years younger than the two of us. That's almost a decade gap from those kids you're teaching, you know.
Damn.
Says the person who keeps calling her Scaredy Cat.
That's not related at all. Anyway, I'll go check how she's doing. Don't stress yourself out. You go ahead to work.
Wait, you? Don't you have a precinct to be at? Whatever happened to not treating her like one of my students? Because if anyone's going to ask me, I think you're doing the same thing.
Got him.
Zach said it's an emergency. Something happened last night.
Emergency?
He didn't put in those exact same words, but it sounded like it.
Ash, what really happened? Is Isabella fine?
She's alright. She's safe. Zach let her stay the night after she... Look, okay. Z-Man wasn't clear about it, but let me handle this. I'll check on her. I'll bring her home.
Sounds like a lie if I ever heard one. The sort where he admits things so people won't fret, and I'm not sure whether I should be happy he cares that much to do that. There shouldn't be a need for this between us, is there? We grew up together, didn't we? Like, is now the time for this? Never mind. He knows I'm capable of at least hearing out the truth without gnawing at me for the rest of the day. He knows better than that. I know him better than that. Frankly, there's plenty of other things to say about this, but despite all the trouble he went through, with how things are moving at the moment, only one thought occurs to me. What should I say? Okay, chat, let me know. Give me 1 second too, because I actually have to pee, so this is a great time to let me know what chat thinks. So 1 second. I see Glassum, which I don't believe is an option. I was gonna go with what my heart says, but sorry for the trouble. Survey says, plus, we take those, we're even again. Hell yeah, boys. I recognize his concern for what it is. It's not new for him to get out of his way, and to be honest, this is what I love about him. As much as I would love to take this off his hands, it'd be selfish for me to insist otherwise. He knows of my many commitments. To do so feels like I'd be trampling on that kindness he seldom offers anyone.
Sorry for putting you up to this.
Nah, don't mention it. You've got other things you need to worry about. Take care of those first. This is a small thing.
I still owe you one.
Oh, I can name a few things you can do about that. You know, there's this ice cream shop that opened near the movie house. I could use...
Okay, let's stop right there. That's enough. On second thought, maybe I'll just think about it some other time.
Harsh.
We both laugh. The sound lighter and more comfortable. Like the old days when a way worried 26-year-old at the bottom of the list we need to worry about. This is how we find common ground. We may not agree on things a lot. We may see things the way the other does, but the give or take is something we've learned to get used to over the years. Whenever it's like this, confidence in him is the least I can offer as thanks.
Really? Thanks for this, Ash.
I'll let you know what happened afterwards, I promise. I'll call you later. You have a good day. Bye.
I admit the way he puts it isn't comforting enough. He can be blunt like that. So many unknown variables, so many words left unsaid. I wish he'd simply lay regardless of how casual, every topic, no matter how mundane it seems. I blame the news entirely for this. Recent happenings brought quite a few interesting stories to everyone's attention. Most superstitious talk of death. And when locals talk about death here, anyone can sure as hell count on someone bringing up that mansion Isabella sold not a few weeks ago. Even my own students won't stop yapping about it. I think it's even worse when it was put back up on the market. Now there are more stories. If this is the world reminding me of what matters, or simply because the atmosphere around this time of the year calls for it, I'd rather take the latter. At the least I can be sure people will forget about it in favor of another set of holidays after. Nevertheless, this may be a painful way to admit, but listening to them is a pleasant distraction while waiting for Ashton's call. I hope he doesn't forget the school day is about to end.
No, that's got nothing with what I heard.
You always hear stuff. I'm not sure if half of them's even real.
No, really. Rowan knows about it. He used to be in the same class with them.
This guy sounds like a villain.
I can hear you from back here, you know.
Whatever, Rowan. Anyway, the story goes like this. There were 3 of them. They entered the mansion on a dare, and they were all never seen again. No one knows what happened to them. Up to this day.
Would they not investigate the mansion? Like, is the disappearance of 3 kids not a big deal for this town?
Scary shit, man.
Cock and bull story. Calling it now.
We see these 3 kids in the film that Marianne sees now that she's stuck in the basement. Dungeon, sorry.
No, you don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Why don't you ask Miss Gales then? Better yet, why don't you go inside the place? I'm betting my allowance you can't do it.
No one knows, you're right. Like, I get it if it's an urban legend, and I get it if it's like a time ago, but like, it's old enough where the camera exists, right? So it can't be that long ago. It's not like fucking 50 years ago, is what I'm trying to say. So it can't be that long ago, and like, real kids disappeared. We can confirm this story is true based on the camera that Marianne finds. So if real kids that people know went to the mansion disappear, and they know they went to the mansion because everyone, this student knows he went to the mansion. Did no one investigate the mansion for these kids? Do these kids mean so little to the community they didn't give a fuck after they disappeared? Sorry. I know psychoanalyzing a horror plot is not the point, but you know, give me some small ha-has in my life. Their talk immediately halts when I look up. All of a sudden, all of them suddenly pretend to be engrossed in their current activity. Still, a word to put a stopper on this nonsense is needed. Creativity and imagination fostered by these stories is one thing, but reckless ideas should be corrected before anything potentially tragic comes from it.
Back to your worksheets, everyone.
Like, I'm just saying, it's not like cops don't exist in this world, or whoever would look for it. While longer having fun, baby.
And I don't want to hear any talk of dares or going inside that mansion. It's private property now. You'd all better stay away from it before...
At the noise, the whole lot of them goes silent. I can almost hear a pin drop. The look on their faces would have made for a funny picture, but it's irrelevant for the moment. If there was a student lording around, someone's going to be in trouble.
I'll be back. If you're done, you can leave your worksheets on my desk. Keep the noise to a minimum while I'm gone, okay?
I can sense their eyes on me as I walk out the door. A muted kind of anticipation. A bit unnerving, but it's far more agreeable than the feeling of being watched I've been enduring these past few days. Would you not cheat in this scenario, kids? Come on. This is perfect. I mean, cheating is morally wrong. I do not support it. Of course, obviously. Class is still in session for most of the rooms. In a few hours, once the final bell rings, however, this place will once again be filled with busy chatter and footfalls, an everyday cycle in itself. But for the moment, I let the silence guide me, my eyes focusing on whatever sounds there are or will be, searching for that distant clanging of metal. A good minute passes, and the porch of it, only my steps echoes through the halls. I support cheating. I don't support cheating and have never done it. Wink. And another. I'm about to turn around when the sound of it halts my footsteps, a little muffled and infrequent, but grows louder after each interval. When the hallway devoids of people, if I don't put a stop to it soon, it'll start to disturb that their class is still going on. Looking for it doesn't take long. All I do is follow the racket, and shortly I'm standing in front of a nondescript row of unoccupied lockers. From the inside of them, sitting in the middle, comes from the noise, annoyingly disruptive now that I'm facing it. Like someone's pounding on the metal door from the inside, hoping to get out. Leaning forward, I try to get a glimpse through the horizontal slants of whatever's causing it. But in this light, only darkness greets me and another round of clanging. Other than the previous one. More desperate. I heard stories before from the schools from a colleague who had to deal with this once or twice. Though personally I've never encountered it myself, and I only thank the heavens I haven't yet. But
if this is another kid some other student stuffed in a locker...
That is an annoying thump. With a huff, I straighten up and study it briefly with a frown. Not until I reach for its handle and at once it stops. It immediately replaced by the muffled sound of a mobile phone ringing. I give the door a few raps before taking my attention away. A second. Another. When nothing or no one responds, oops, I finally revert my eyes and pull out my mobile. I will actually save while I have this moment. Ashton's voice greets me from the other end, oddly cheerful in light of his morning manners. Or maybe because I'm just expecting some grave or serious news from him. Instead, I get this.
Well, you sound happy.
Should you not deal with the kid, quote unquote, in the locker? Like, if this is actually a kid in the locker, I would be quite upset if I was stuck in the locker and then my teacher, before opening the locker, is like on the phone with some friend of hers.
I do? My voice still sounds the same to me.
There are only two things I can know of that could be the reason for that tone. Sweets, or he's gotten a good lead on his case. For the sound of it, I'm going to assume the former, since lately that case is all running inside his head. If there's been a third one, I've never heard of it yet. There can only be one of the two.
Ignore that. How's Isabella?
Drove her home a few minutes ago. I think she's sleeping now. Sorry this took a while. Z-Man gave us the puppy eyes after we tried to leave. Had some food prepared for us, apparently. We didn't have the heart to say no.
That's all right. Is she okay now?
I'm not really sure. She didn't say anything to Zach, but she mentioned a plan to take a few days off from work. It was a passing comment before I left her, so I didn't get to ask.
Must be because of Rose's death.
Could be. It doesn't seem like it from Zach's story, though. He said she was shaking when she got there.
Shaking?
The word triggers a memory. From 3 days ago, on the other side, on the way home from her little treat, after she sold the mansion, I didn't think much of it at the time, but I won't lie, it scared me. The terrified look on her face, how she sounded when she suddenly screamed.
Becca? Still there?
Yeah, I just remembered something. Sorry, don't mind me.
Look, if you can talk to her, get the story out of her. That would be great. She wouldn't talk to Zach or me even when I tried. Maybe she'll speak up if it's you?
I'll give it a go, but I can't promise anything, okay? You know how stubborn she can get. But thanks for letting me know about this. If you want, I can get you that ice cream thing you mentioned tonight. As thanks. Just as thanks for all the trouble I've caused today.
Sweats.
Believe me, I'd love to take you up on that offer, but I've got something on my schedule this evening. Maybe some other time? Thanks a lot, Becca.
There's a short pause before he cuts the call from his end, and once again I'm alone with my thoughts. But rather than answers, all I got from it are questions. More of them, one on top the other. As the world isn't planning a break anytime soon. These lines don't rhyme, but there's a problem I'll tackle later. Right now I've got students who need to be taught Foley's of eavesdropping if the slight open door and smothered laugh from inside is an indication. He's definitely a detective.
All right,
Easy.
Enough eavesdropping. All of you, back to your seats.
Is that your boyfriend, Miss Gale?
Oh, they got him. Is anyone concerned about the potential thing in the locker?
None of your business.
He totally is.
Got him. A quick scuffle follows that comment. If there's any retort prepared at the tip of my tongue, I drop every pretense, there we go, English, of letting it loose on them. There's no use in arguing with teenagers sometimes, boisterous as they are. They're still kids, though. Rough around the edges, maybe, but still kids. Shaking my head, I head back to my classroom with a smile, but not before taking a glance at the locker again. Hasn't made a sound since.
Must be the wind.
No one's gonna check this fucking locker! So without another look, I leave it alone. That's fair. That's reasonable. I feel like that would normally have scared me more if I wasn't so frustrated with the locker. All in all, the entire school days ends without a hitch. It could have gotten better, mind you. I probably ruined that scare for other people. I'm very sorry. It could have gotten better, mind you, but with the exams nearing, getting out of work before the sun has set looks as though it's a far-off dream for now. At least until they're over, then. Have the holidays to look forward to. There really are times when you simply take what you can get for the time
Nothing
being.
wrong with that.
All I'm hoping for is this continue until the whole day ends. There's still that promise I made to Ashton. Frankly, the idea alone doesn't sound good. Isabella doesn't talk to them. what makes them think she'll talk to me? It's not like there's a hierarchy, is there? Just because I can handle Isabella's childish tendencies doesn't mean I can do it all the time.
Really, those two give me too much credit.
Nevertheless, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, if only because I'm also worried about her, and both Zachary and Ashton deem it important that someone get the story out of her. Here's to hoping it's nothing to do with that letter again. I understand how she feels a bit stressed lately, but keeping that story going on for more than a week is... it's bound to get tiring at one point. Seriously, I merely don't want this to end up in another argument, God's willing. The cafe special will help soothe things out. After all, it's always been food with her. Or money. But mostly food. At this hour, the cafe is usually filled to the brim with people. It's the reason Isabella and I rarely ever go here during the evenings. It's usually too much of a hassle when we can prepare food ourselves in the comfort of our homes, and there really isn't much reason to eat out lately. Well, with life on a busy streak. No time for long lines, better spend that doing something productive, yes. Also, the Rona. Sorry.
Lucky there isn't one tonight.
Only few people are idling around the counter. Four of them, in fact, a woman in her 60s, a teenager busy on his phone, both are just waiting to be served their orders. The other two, a posh-looking man and a child, who I immediately recognize as Kylie, appear to have not picked anything they want. What the fuck? I did not expect these two to know each other. For some reason, my stare lingers at the guy. Though dressed relatively well and looks harmless, I haven't... Oh, wait a fucking second! Kylie! Didn't they want to have like a baby's room or a kid's room or a playroom for her? Hannah said this? How did I not pick this up? Oh my god, my entire life is breaking down right now. What the fuck? Were all the hints there? Am I the fool? Okay, I can't dwell on this. Tio? I don't think they ever said Tio's name? Did they say Tio Luke? It's possible, like, it's the only relation to them that makes sense, right? But, like, did Hana say Kylie's name in the past? It sounds familiar, but I might be just adding a memory to make this convenient for me. Whatever. So new in the neighborhood, perhaps? Even so, there's something familiar in him. It feels like I've seen him somewhere before. That also begs the question of why Kylie's with him. Like, okay, so I can be analytical and be like, oh, obviously she will remember that. No, she has no reason to remember that one moment in which she had a breakdown. It wasn't really even about him. It was really more about the breakdown. Also begs the question of why Kylie's with him. Of course, the girl easily takes a liking to anyone who buys her sweets, so it's a bit worrisome and unsurprising. The blonde bloke doesn't look particularly thrilled with the company, though. I tear my eyes away from them soon enough once the guy at the counter appears, ready to take my order. That I'd rather hate to be accused of ogling strangers.
2, evening special, takeout.
He's already punching the order before I finish. Saying my order out loud is really more of a formality's sake, made out of habit. He's known Isabel and I long enough to know that if we ever drop here, he already knows it's always because I'm buying dinner for the two of us. I rarely visit alone if that helps it, but Isabella can sometimes be a bad influence. He makes a small smile before leaving to prepare my order, while I fish for my wallet.
Look, you little ankle biter. If I buy you the biggest parfait they have, will you please behave? I would just like 10 minutes of peace and quiet.
You said you'll get me some bread pudding this time.
Yeah, well, darling, they said they ran out of it. Just pick another one so we can be on our way.
Their parfait doesn't look as cute as the one my mom bought me.
Parfait is just ice cream, sweetheart. It'll melt no matter how dainty it appears. In the end, it'll all look like an ugly puddle.
Isn't parfait yogurt? Am I wrong? Oh, 1 fucking second. Bam. Don't need this. Parfait. A cold dessert with whipped cream, eggs, and often fruit. Oh, yeah, he fucked me. Okay. Luke wins. I'm a fraud. Hold on. Just hold on fucking... You gotta admit, that's pretty yogurty. Yogurt parfait. I'm just saying. I have my rights and my reasons. Anyways.
Now come on, just pick one. It could even be the most expensive one on that list. I don't give a shit.
Oh shit.
Care, I don't care. Oh, what I would give for someone to buy you off my hands right now.
What? My whole attention instantly snaps back at them in their conversation. Jumping to conclusions is something I'm fairly fond of, especially when all I have are basic assumptions, but can't really trust a stranger these days. No one around the cafe seems to have noticed his words either. Very suspicious words. Still, I don't move. Yet. But my hands are already shifted from my wallet to the book I'm carrying. A hardbound textbook. Looks harmless, but in situations that calls for it, it might be a good, deadly weapon. Mood. Might. I haven't gotten the chance to try it anywhere so far. Today could be the day.
But you promised.
Look, if you don't want a parfait, how about a Bonifay pie? I'm sure it'll taste just as good as any other bread pudding. I'll even buy you the entire tray. How does that sound?
That's a good offer. I'd take it over.
That's not what you said before.
Well, sweetheart, adults change their minds sometimes.
Oh, he got him there.
You said if I come with you, you'll buy me a bread pudding, and I did. And now you won't keep your promise.
Oh.
I want to go home. I miss my mom.
No, darling, if I remember correctly, and I have a good memory, honey. What I said was, if you come quietly with me, I might buy you one. The quiet part didn't happen. Though now that I'm sober, I think this is a bad idea. And I should just ship you someplace else for that peace and quiet.
Oh, that's it. No hesitation. In a few paces, he's within my reach. Without warning, I'm slamming the flat area of the book against his skull.
Ow!
I will say, I don't like Luke either, but his voice actor is really fucking good. Almost comically, as if this ridiculous situation and the safety of a singing-ready student isn't at stake, I'd probably feel sorry for him. I mean, has anyone seen how thick this book is?
Get behind me, Kylie.
Miss Pink!
It's amusing how fast her expression changes from pouty one earlier to something that of utter delight upon seeing me. Amazing! But there's no time for pleasantries, not even quick ones, because soon after the master rains up and I'm readying my favorite newfound weapon for another hit. So this time he's ready, before I can land another one, his hand shoots up to catch my wrist in a firm hold. The look of his face, oh shit.
Bloody hell, woman, what's your problem?
Kidnapper. To say he's pissed would be a complete understatement. Had I been the weak-willed sort, I'd probably cower under a sharp gaze. But that simply isn't how I roll. If he thinks he can scare me and do what he pleases just because I'm a woman, or whatever his reason may be, he's got another thing coming for him. So instead I return to him with the same intensity, with the same venom.
What's my problem? You're the one who has a problem here.
This poor store owner.
Rotten bowbags like you don't deserve the freedom to run this town.
Tell him.
What are you doing to this girl?
And why is that any of your business, pray tell?
Oh, it's my business if I make it to be.
Oh, fuck.
Now, release me or I'll call the police.
You think that scares me, Daisy?
I have a name, you sleazy douchebag.
Okay, I don't know why, but I take great enjoyment of my least two favorite characters fighting out. I don't no idea why. Maybe I'm just like a huge sadist.
Oh, I'm sure.
His grip on my hand only tightens when I attempt to shake it off. His tone may be dripping with anger and sarcasm, but the gleam in his eyes says it all. He's getting a kick out of this. Riling people up, getting on their nerves, invading their personal space, he knows exactly what and which buttons to push. The nerve of this person. The nerve of this arsehole. Asshole, I know. If he thinks I'm going to give into his gouting, perhaps he might as well kiss his sorry behind. Shot for help? Ooh, the choices! The choices! I know everyone wants me to hit him where it hurts, aka hit the nads. I feel shout for help might be smarter though. But I'm curious what chat thinks, so I'll wait a few minutes. And by minutes I mean seconds. Cool, I'm gonna talk for help. You never know.
Let me go, you uncouth lout!
Minus? I feel like hitting him in the nads would not be a plus.
Or else what?
I'll scream.
He laughs, a divisive thing that rankles in my temper more than it has any right to. It's as if he knows I can't do anything, or he's above any authority that exists in the city, confident he can get away with anything. The gall of this man. I'd like to punch him right where now if I can.
Nice try, lady. Why don't you drop the book first? You could kill people with that, you know.
Fat chance.
Oh no, that attitude won't do, Daisy. Here, let's try that again, like the proper adults we both are. Drop the bloody fucking book.
And then what? If you're assuming I'm...
Then we'll have a nice conversation over a cuppa. Establish why you're attacking a poor, innocent stranger with a deadly weapon. And maybe weave in an apology or two for the offended party afterwards. I'm the offended party here, by the way. My brain hasn't returned to its rightful place yet, in case you're wondering.
Innocent! Don't play dumb! I heard what you were trying to do with that girl. Just because she isn't my student yet doesn't mean I don't have a role in protecting that child's innocence.
Protecting the what of who? Why would you? Oh no!
It's a matter of seconds, the expression on his face changes faster than anyone is capable of. From pure confusion to sudden realization, before finally deciding on a face of utter mortification. He's quick to drop his hold on my hand afterwards, like he's been holding a piping hot object and just realized his hand all along. He's far from a decent person, but he might actually make good money doing comedy. The look on his face when he starts babbling his excuses is almost priceless.
No, this kid's... Alright, lady, look, it's all a misunderstanding.
My tongue can't get any flatter than the one I have now.
Right. Somebody help!
He places a hand over my mouth before I spill the rest of it, and all at once I'm caught between trying to stop him from smothering me and keeping his dirty hands off of me. But even as my nails dig deeper into his wrist, he doesn't appear to have any intention of letting me go. Being loud works, however. Soon the attention of every practical customer seeing the salt establishment is on us. I shoot each of them an imploring look, hoping one of them will have the sense to help. The sleaze, however, is fast enough to flash them and embarrass them.
Haha! This lady's having such a bad day! Poor girl's just been through so much today! Nothing to see here, go on with your dinner.
Bad day, even if this were a friendly chat, I won't have you touch... I won't even touch you with a 10-foot pole, much less share any of my problems with you, Blighter. You're my problem. I'm gonna blur that out, but with a hand covering my mouth and my lungs rapidly losing air. I wipe out in his hand. Hard. It works.
Ow!
He yells, jerks his hand away from my face, sitting back to as much distance as he can between us while nursing his injured hand against his cheek, muttering a string of a very creative set of expletives. There we go. Tears have formed at the corner of his eyes for the pain, and the small laughter almost leaves me. To be frank, he gives the impression of a kicked puppy with the glare he shoots back. Hopefully I'm less inclined to feel sorry about him.
You mad woman!
I warned you, you ass!
Why, you... This is harassment, I'm telling you! Harassment!
Then why don't you tell that to the police once they get here,
You despicable! Whatever you're assuming I am, I'll have you know it's all in your head. None of it's true. You best have that pretty brain of yours checked before that gets worse. What is wrong with you? Is this the face of someone who'd do anything suspicious?
That may be the best line in the entire game.
Oh? You don't think a stranger luring an innocent child with promises of sweets before whisking them away from their parents doesn't warrant any suspicion? You have a very funny definition of suspicious, asshole. Maybe you're the one who should have that head of yours checked.
The kid asked me to buy her sweets. You're the one who's suspicious here.
Go to the cops. She told me she wanted sweets. I just told her they were in the van. What's the issue?
I'll have you know,
so
I have a wife!
That much at least appears to have a sliver of truth to it. He even makes a show of brandishing his left hand to my face with much flourish. Whatever. Sure enough, a wedding ring is there. Enough, all that earned him is an unimpressed glare from me. Immediately a small part of me starts to feel sorry for whatever poor woman married this sod. I don't understand why he has to bring her up either, as if the attention of her alone will magically present a solution to his problem. She must truly be a remarkable woman if she could handle a dirtbag like him.
And even my wife of all people in this bloody city, has never, never, I'm telling you, accuse me of such a scandalous thing! You crazy woman!
Sleazy douche. Glad they changed his name.
Married or not, you're still a sleaze. Honestly, I feel...
Miss Pink, why are you fighting with my teal?
Whatever words still left to be said here dies at the tip of my tongue. The same goes for the sleaze. Besides us stands Kylie, gawking at us with the same curious stare she often brings with her. I know that look all too well. Precocious girl through and through. She doesn't say anything further. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was super, like, any other relationship would be actually fucking weird, I feel. She doesn't say anything further, her gaze simply moves between us, eyeing us both carefully, clearly anticipating an answer. I'd actually be fucking so shocked if he just, like, got drunk, tried to hit on her mother, and then, like, got roped into this or something. That would be, like, the only other thing that could possibly happen. I would never put money on that one. From my experience, when it looks like this, when it gets like this with children her age, it's a sure sign they won't leave you until they've given them an answer they're satisfied with. Lying won't do either. It has dissolved into a shouting match, for heaven's sakes. And did she just say Tio? Something falls straight into the pit of my stomach like that. My tone is gentle when I finally address her, void of any apprehension and what might be the first hints of embarrassment. I pointedly ignore the latter. It may very well just be the hunger speaking.
Kylie, sweetie, do you know this oaf?
Yeah, he's Teal Luke.
Right at the moment, my brain stops. Every line of thought, every argument I still have against the man despite me dissipates in a haze. Amidst all of it, one memory gets triggered from a few days ago.
Tio? The one you mentioned before? The uncle? The guy Rowan wanted to impress? Or was that a dare? I'm sorry, I can't recall. Is it the one who promised he'll take Big Brother someplace cool?
Yeah, the one and the same. Don't you know who he is?
I'm sure as hell don't, darling. Because if I do, I won't have let everything I said earlier come out of my mouth.
He's my Teal Luke, gazillionaire extraordinaire, and no, the fairy godfather.
He's your godfather. That's nice.
The one and only. Did I get that right, Tio?
More than right, sweetheart. I'm sure Miss Pink here understood everything you said quite perfectly.
This actually is great. I love this. Whatever it is that landed the pit of my stomach fire has straight off to my face and stayed there. The heat from it slowly spreading to my cheeks, coloring my face in almost the same shade as my hair. If only the earth would swallow me whole here and now. His eyes are on me. I can feel them jeering and mocking. I can't even bring myself to look at him. What's in there? Amusement? I doubt it. He probably is having the time of his life right now. But I know I can hear the sneer in his tone alone when he talks. He has that smug grin on him, which I may or may not want to punch out of his face at present, just for the hell of it. But damage control. I think we should apologize to Luke, and I never thought I'd say that. But we did assault him for, really no basis, I feel. So I'm gonna go for it, even though I know the crowd would love for me to ignore this angry man. Does he like it? He better fucking like it. Oh damn, we're super weren't we negative with him before? Though it pains me to apologize to a sleazebag like him, this is my mistake. With Kai watching us close by, I don't want to set a bad example for her, do I? I'm surprised she grew up the child she is. If anything, I want to be the role model this man couldn't possibly become from her. Even if it means taking a few blows to my ego and stroking this insufferable one. A gulp of air, a short moment to swallow my self-respect, and then I'm facing him. You like some feisty? The words are in my mouth in a single breath.
I'm really, really sorry, sir.
The bigger person! Dab dab.
I had no idea.
His smirk is impossible to miss. He's making an effort. He's not making an effort to hide it, and even the smile is so irritating present in his tone. If I could slap it out of him, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Now, it's an honest mistake, Daisy.
No, I really mean it. I actually thought you were... And then...
It's fine now. It probably happens quite a lot to a few people who look suspicious to you. Seems I'm one of them now. But don't lose sleep over it. Do be careful with that book, though. A little more and you would have dislodged my poor brain off my head. What would I ever do if that happens?
Oh no! Did it leave a mark or anything? If you want, we can have it checked. I'll handle the expenses if there's a need for it.
Now, what kind of man would I be if I let an attractive woman such as yourself do that? Why don't we just look at it this way?
I actually super regret my choice, even if it was positive.
My forgiveness is coming from the utter goodness of my heart.
I regret everything I've ever chosen. Chat, why did he stop me? So full of himself. Exactly the kind of person I'll happily leave to die to somewhere.
Of course, sir. Why didn't I think of it that way?
I know, right?
I do love it, though, I'm not gonna lie.
But even someone as capable as you is bound to have a few lapses. No harm done, Daisy. Let's move on from this.
Well, if you're going to put it like that, then I guess there's nothing left for us to talk about.
I figured as much.
I have a lot of emotions right now, Nico. Awkward. The whole exchange is nothing but an awkward display of fake pleasantries. One that brings much agony to the very pride I willingly held back a while ago. I might need a drink later so I can forget any of this ever happened. Who would have thought the time would come when I'd meet someone tougher to handle than Isabella? Miracles of miracles, I swear. Though to my surprise, he proffers me a hand shortly after they leave. For a shake, I realize, after a long moment of staring at it. Accept it, albeit half-heartedly. But of all the goodwill that small gesture represents melts in the thin air when he winks at me. Winks. The gall of this man. Well, there's no moment to ponder about it. Seconds later, the guy at the counter waves me over and hands me a paper bag as soon as I've paid. He asks me another smile before I leave. Normally I return it simply for the sake of returning it, but I don't at all. Or I don't at all, with the latter happening more commonly. For the time being, I do so freely. After that encounter and the scene we've caused, seeing a friendly gesture being sent to me, albeit from a person I barely know on a personal level, I feel it like a reassurance despite bearing no promises of better days. Hey, the last jab. Yeah, boy! You know, fuck Isabella, right? I take what little I can do with me as I step out into the night. Batman. I kind of might end it here, I think. I know it's a little early, and I apologize, but I don't know how long the next arc is. And I think this is a good place for me to end right now. So, I'm sorry, I just got things to do, and unfortunately that implies I can't stay as long as I'd like. I will save, though. Bada bing. And we will proceed. I'm actually having more fun with Becca's path than I expected. At the expense of Becca. I don't like her still. I probably like her less than I did at the beginning, which is not good. But I'm having fun at least. And I hope you guys are having fun too. We will probably be playing this again next week. So if you want to know more about the letter, please join. Once again, I apologize for ending it a little bit early. Just, unfortunately, it's a busy Tuesday for your boy. But I do hope to see you all soon. As usual, thank you all for the lovely support. Have a good sleep. God, you're so funny. But thank you, I appreciate it. And I hope everyone sleeps nicely as well. I'm glad you're having fun. I will try for it not to be so short next time. My goal will be to finish Becca's Path next time, even if it's longer than usual because of my short leave. Fingers crossed it won't be 2 months longer. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I hope to see you all next week. I hope you guys are having fun. I am as well. And until then, have a great day, everyone. Or night, really, at this rate. Bye.